Ohio, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Thursday, July 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 90. Coming up on OTB, we look ahead to the football season, and Chef Michael Johnson joins the show for a new edition of Munchies. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening? What's going on? Hope everybody's having a great Thursday, July 6, 2023. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, Taylor back with yet another day of sports talk and fun and jokes, innuendo, everything else that we're going to get into today. Jake, we are firm believers in fake it till you make it here. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
That back crack and kind of get up that you pulled right before to get on the mic. Are you a man going through the throes of a newborn at home?
A little bit.
How are we feeling?
Yeah,
You feeling okay today?
a little bit.
I know that feeling all too well. I went through that feeling recently, and so any way in which we can help, just let us know, because I feel you are definitely burning the candle at all ends. Right now, morning show, afternoon show, newborn at home, 4 other kids. It's a lot going on, dude.
Yeah, I'm. We've been together a long time now, and you can pick up on the body language.
Yeah, I feel it, bro, and I know it. I was
excited
there too.
excited to be here, excited to kind of be back into the world after you kind of, for like a week, like you don't do anything.
No,
like you're a shut in. So glad to be back out, but just trying to figure out, navigate through. Okay, if I get this amount of sleep here, that amount of sleep there, can that make up for it? So we'll see.
It's a tough boy. Yeah, I remember I had about a 2-month stretch there where I think I just like stopped prepping for the show because I was just like, I don't know. I didn't sleep. My sleep was interrupted. Like some days I'd be like, I don't know. So I feel you. We're gonna make it though. We're gonna make it. We got a lot to talk about today. Really great ideas from the entire squad rolling in today. We'll discuss. Got a couple LSU football topics that I like. Little Dame Lillard trade action for your New Orleans Pelicans in the air as well, which we'll explore here in hour number 1. We'll see which direction the Saints conversation goes. I got to text that to Ross Jackson. We'll see if we can line that up last minute or not. If not, we'll talk some Saints ourselves going into camp. We got big deal or no big deal. Munchies. I watched a 25-minute video on The Undertaker and Mick Foley rewatching the Hell in a Cell match yesterday, which I know I just missed the anniversary of, so I've mistimed all of this. But my God, the only thing I remembered about that match was the initial toss off the cage.
Right.
I had completely forgotten about the subsequent reclimbing of the cage, the chokeslam through the cage, the not one, but 2 chokeslams onto tacks, and then the tombstone to end it. That is maybe the wildest video I've ever seen. And I think I tweeted out yesterday, if you've never seen Mick Foley talk either, that man is a thespian.
Yeah.
He's like so thoughtful and like artistic about how he describes wrestling. I'm like, is this the guy that came up with Socko? I guess
he's a lot of different people. He's Dude Love. He's Mankind. He's Mick Foley. He's Cactus Jack.
Yep. And it's funny because he like all like a lot of actors that I know, you would think that due to his success, he would have this overconfidence, right? Like you kind of get that off the Undertaker, not in a smarmy way or anything, but like the Undertaker seems very secure in who he is the entire time. Mick Foley seems a little, like just a little insecure, like he's still he's still having to prove, and he talks about that this match was when he was coming out of trying out all those different characters and nothing really stuck, and he felt like he had to kind of prove himself. And I'll say prove himself he did. So if you haven't seen that video, dude, it's well worth checking out. It is really, really fantastic. And we might get into some more indie talk at the end of the show as well. So if you want to get involved, youtube.com/@1045 ESPN. Remember, you can go, we'd love for you to sub to the Off the Bench channel as well, Off the Bench LSU, Off the Bench Saints, where, well, all the LSU and Saints videos end up anyway if you don't want to listen to the entire show. All right, let's go ahead and dive in then to what is potentially, well, where I want to start today's show. And that's talking about Mason Smith. And I'm probably going to say a couple of extreme things here during this segment, but just know that I do believe them to be true. The first of them is that I don't think it's an exaggeration. I don't think it's hyperbolic to say that Mason Smith might be the most slept-on defensive lineman in the entire country, right? There's been plenty of headlines about guys like Bear Alexander as they transfer from Georgia to LSU. There's great players throughout the country, but it's weird with Mason Smith because it's not like I'm blaming anybody that he's not talked about. Why would you talk about him? It's just kind of the path, unfortunately, that his career has gone down. Now, he was great as a true freshman in 2021. I kind of forgot how good he was. In just 9 games, he gets 5 TFLs, 4 sacks, 19 tackles, freshman All-American, and he looked dominant in that first series against Florida State last year, and then we all know what happened, right? He tears his ACL, he's sidelined, and because of that, he's kind of forgotten. I mean, even here locally, it's just what happens with injuries. You end up forgetting. Like, I remember that first game, it was devastating. It was like, how are you going to lose the best player on your roster? The season's a disaster, blah, blah. Like 2 weeks later, you're not thinking about Mason Smith anymore. You think about Mekhi Wingo. You think about all of these other guys. And the entire time, he's having to sit back. And this man who has as much raw physical potential as you will ever see, combined with the work ethic, like he does everything in the lab that he needs to do. This man had to sit back. He had to watch his teammates go on to win these huge games, do these great things. He watched Mekhi Wingo, Harold become an All-American, Harold Perkins become a national superstar, and the entire time, he's got to be thinking, that's supposed to be me. And it's not a jealousy standpoint or anything like that. Like, he was a mentor. He supported his team. He was a great teammate, but it's impossible to be that good or have that high of expectations for yourself and not feel like you desperately want where your friends are able to get. I mean, the games are the only fun part of football, and he was denied the only fun part of football. So what you have here, Jake, is a man at 6'6", 310, who is, again, as rawly physically talented as any D lineman I've ever seen. He's got the mental makeup and the work ethic to be great, and now he has an unquenchable motivation that can only be created through extreme disappointment. I mean, Mason Smith is going to take over this fall.
Yeah, and when you couple it with Mekhi Wingo coming back, the guy that you mentioned was an All-American, you're talking about a very disruptive middle portion of the LSU defense. And also, if you go another level behind that, you have Harold Perkins, who now is going to be a stack linebacker. And if you go beside him, you're talking about Omar Spates, who was an all Pac-12 defender for Oregon State. So you're talking about 4 pillars right there in the middle of the LSU defense. Now, the questions are going to be maybe on the outside as far as edge rusher, who gets after the quarterback, but you're pairing one of, I think, maybe one of the most talented defensive tackles I've seen in recent memory.
Yes.
I mean, in Mason Smith, as far as his size, his speed, his strength, what he can do for you. And then you have a guy in Mekhi Wingo that's just, he's never going to walk in here and impress anybody just by walking in here, but you turn on the tape and you quickly get impressed. And so now he's got a buddy. Now it's a tandem. And so he's not going to get, as you know this better than any of us, he's not going to get double teamed every time. Because if you do that, that's fine, because his partner next to him is going to be an All-American as well. So you're talking about the middle portion of that defense. The foundation is set. Again, we can talk about questions on other parts of it, but that right there with those 4 guys, I mean, it's 4 All-American candidates.
Yeah. I mean, wait until they start. I mean, think about the games that you could play rushing Harold Perkins up the middle with those two. You don't have enough talent on the offensive line to account for those three. No, it's an aggressive posture, certainly, and, on the back end, you'll have to hold it down to allow for those games to be played. But it really does start to become very exciting. I mean, I don't think, in terms of raw talent, Jake, you have a better national perspective than I do. But I don't think it's crazy, again, to say that Harold Perkins and Mason Smith are as talented as any two defensive teammates that you will find anywhere else in the country. I'm not going to say they're the absolute best because I'm sure there's some combinations out there that I'm missing, but I don't think you're going to find any two that are just rawly more talented than these two are.
No, they'd be in the conversation. They'd certainly be in tier one if we're putting a tier list together of most talented tandems in college football. But like the other portion of it, though, like, yes, I agree with you. Those two talented players. But then you couple that with the other guys we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like Mekhi Wingo is the All-American.
Yep.
Like he is the guy that he proved it last year in what he did. He was the highest rated transfer coming over last year, but for whatever reason we didn't talk about it, probably because he was a defensive tackle, but he showed up last year after high expectations. And then I can't talk enough about Omar Speights and what he's going to be able to do. And I know a lot of LSU fans don't stay up unless you're chasing bets, Ronnie Rance, late at night watching some Pac-12 after dark. But he is a dude.
Yeah.
Like he is somebody that was first team all Pac-12. And when you turn on the tape of Oregon State, he flashes more than anybody. Now you couldn't find it with a search warrant to steal Dev's line there, but the USC Oregon State game, if you find it and you go back and you watch it,
Pac-12 network game.
Yeah, he is all over the place against one of the best offenses in the country. So yes, they are a tandem, maybe the most talented that we have in college football. But then you throw those extra pieces that are All-Americans, all Pac-12 with them, that makes them even better.
And you would say, okay, but then what about like the outside, right? Because that's where the questions remain. Who's going to rush the passer from the edge? Who's going to end up winning those starter cornerback battles? And I would say this: the edge remains a bit concerning. Like you've got some young talent there. You've got some experience in Swinson and who else is the upperclassmen got the transfer in? Like
OG from Texas.
Yeah.
Ovia Gofu.
Yeah, Ovia Gofu. Thank you. And then Deshaun Womack, right, is the big is the big 5-star recruit there.
You still got Quincy Wiggins that nobody's talking about.
Oh, right. Okay.
I mean, no one's talking about him.
No one is talking about Quincy Wiggins.
He's bulked up a little bit. He's kind of playing a lot of that 5 technique.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of like Ali Gay did a year ago. Like B.J. Ojulari was going to be the guy that got after passer. Now, obviously, you're still going to be asked to rush the passer, but he's been playing some of that.
Well, yeah, and you need someone who's going to set the edge against the run there, and so that Wiggins would feel like it because he's always had big size. Here in bulk would be more of that. It's great, but okay. Here's the point. I guess the point is, yes, I'm not going to sit here and say that the edge rushers are going to be a strength of this team. But I also know that they're not like an abject disaster is the point. Like they are fine. They're starting caliber SEC players there. Cornerback is a bit more interesting, Jake, because you can make the argument that although you don't know who's starting, you're more talented at that position than you were last year. When you think about bringing in J.K. Johnson, Deuce Chestnut, we loved how Terrence Welch looked. Obviously, Denver Harris from that A&M class. Like, I don't know who ends up winning those battles. But there's so much good in that room that I actually have a lot of faith in whoever that ends up being.
Yeah, and so anytime you're bringing in a transfer, it's a talented player. It's still there's going to be a transition period. So we'll see, because there was times in the spring where it looked like, okay, I think you've got this figured out. Then there'd be times now going against one of the best receiver rooms in the country that you're like, okay, this room still has a little bit to go, and they need to grow some more. They have the talent in there, but you got to start putting the pieces together. You got to start finding out who can be your guy. Now, we didn't see Deuce Chestnut. Like, that's somebody that I'm excited to see, get my eyes on during training camp. Safety, you feel okay. You have a lot of, veteran players back there. I think corner and edge rusher. If you're asking me, okay, what's your biggest question marks for the defense heading in, I think that's where you have to start. And you have candidates in both, which is good. Like, you can throw candidates out there. Guys have done it at other places. Now they got to do it in purple and gold, which doesn't always correlate.
Sure.
Doesn't always happen. Like, you can go be a guy somewhere and then you come somewhere and for whatever reason it doesn't work out here, but you do have candidates. But those are the two places, because other places you feel as strong as anybody in the country. And if you just get, I think if you just get good, you don't even necessarily have to get great from those two positions, then you'll be one of the top 25 defenses in the country.
Exactly, right? Like, not every position is going to be Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo. These are the most talented interior tandem in the country type of hype, and that's okay. If you have that in certain parts of your defense, yeah, like Jake said, the other parts just need to be up to snuff. And I firmly believe that this LSU defense will be a complete defense that'll actually surprise some people when you just look at things like returning production. You're like, wow, they kind of lost a lot. They don't have a lot coming back. Well, we'll see.
Zay Alexander from
Yes.
Southeastern is also a name that we need to throw in there, because there was something that they saw on tape, identified it, obviously portal, bring him in. So he's another veteran player, played a lot of football, that will be in that cornerback conversation. So, like corner, I think you've got the right people. You got to format it. You got to figure out who works well together. You got to figure out, with the safeties, who has kind of the best pairing there as well. Like edge rusher, I still don't feel as good about it. You're going to need somebody step up in training camp. Again, you've got bodies. You've got guys that have done some things in other places. Now you have some freshmen that are incredibly talented. You mentioned Womack, obviously.
Put the Womack.
You got him. And what you said?
No. Get the G team. Sorry.
Then Jackson Howard, also very
Mason
talented.
Smith, member of the G team.
Very talented freshman coming in from the state of Minnesota. So you've got some options. You've got some bodies. Some older players that have been other places, some younger players that you have not really seen yet. That's probably the position, though, that everyone goes out there during training camp going to pay attention to the closest. But like there's a point of emphasis on that position. Like you have a coach for that position now, right? It's no longer going to be grouped with the linebackers. You brought in, you have somebody you elevated, I should say, that is going to coach that, edge, jackback, or whatever you want to call it.
And LSU has one of those nice setups where if you can win in practice, you should be able to win in the game, because you're not going to run into too many tackles the caliber of Emory Jones and Will Campbell there. So good on good. Let's go, boys.
Yeah, Savion Jones, another name that we need to throw into this conversation. But also, I want to see how they –
yeah, he did well last year.
I want to see where they put everyone, because the way the defense kind of is, like you're going to have two defensive ends, but they're going to be different players.
Yeah.
Like one's going to be, like T-Bob mentioned, like you're setting the edge. This is what your responsibility is. You're getting after the quarterback. And you have, I would say 3 or 4 of these guys kind of have the body type to be able to play both. And I want to see which one they kind of end up at.
The bottom line, though, is that in the middle, you got the big man from the Bayou returning, and he's on the warpath. He has as much talent, as much work ethic, and as much motivation as anybody in the country. And I cannot wait for him to blossom into a superstar this season. All right, when we get back, more Off the Bench, youtube.com/@1045ESPN. Hop in the Bayou Ford chat. You want to get your comments in there. We'll get to him next year on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I drove myself to the ER, had heart surgery, and drove myself home 24 hours later, feeling fine. Starting running again after the procedure, I'm getting excited thinking about it. I had no pain, nothing. I felt great. And right then and there, I was like, oh my God, I'm back. I'm back. It's just amazing.
Ochsner Health. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $25,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. State of the program. We'll do LSU football, LSU basketball, LSU baseball, Saints. Tune in Thursday, 1 to 3, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yeah, a lot of the chat bringing up Savion Jones. And you're right, that's an oversight on my part. Still a little rusty getting into the swing of football things. Just Savion Jones had some really solid contributions last year and did when he played jump off the screen.
Where do you think he's going to, like, which position, if you were to guess right now? I'd see him more
big
as
to be the run stuffer guy.
I think I see him more at setting the edge.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said that wrong.
Yeah,
he feels big, so I think like run stuffer, like setting the edge, like we were just talking about. But then I don't know. I mean, do they have a good body comp for somebody like B.J. Ojulari and like that skill set for last year, where it is clearly more speed rush?
I would say off the edge, a guy that looked really good in the spring, Ovie Ogofu from Texas looked really good. He's probably going to be that jack.
Okay, so
I
there
would
you
think.
go.
Yeah, he definitely was the first guy out during
him
the
and
spring
Swenson.
game. Yeah.
Go hard or go home says Savion Jones, Mekhi Wingo, Mason Smith, and Ovie to start that. Starting against FSU. That actually makes a lot of sense. I would feel like.
Again, this isn't like it shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, this is a panic, big question mark. I think you're just set so well at other places that's why you're going to be paying attention, because B.J. Ojulari played for a long time, played a lot of snaps here.
Yeah.
So now he's gone. Ali Gay played for a long time, a lot of snaps here. Now he's gone. So you're going to have new. And so I think you're trying to figure out exactly who's going to be in those positions, because the other positions, not only do you feel good, you feel great about them. Safety is another one where you're going to have Brooks and Burns. Those guys have played so much football, right? I mean, at Arkansas for Brooks, and certainly here at LSU last year, he integrated himself very nicely. I mean, the Auburn game, he was all over the place. I mean, we've seen Major Burns and what he can do. So you're going to have new on the edges there on your defensive front next to two All-Americans. And so that's why it's going to be under a microscope, I think, all training camp.
You know what else? Just randomly, I don't even think this probably ends up on YouTube because I don't think there's like a entire conversation, or we change it till we make it into one. But I completely forgot about Aaron Anderson. What are the expectations for him coming into the season? Because yesterday we were talking about the receiving group, and we're like, okay, we're playing a game. If Jane Daniels is going to throw for 3,500 or 4,000 yards, by the way, Jane Daniels second in Heisman odds right now, which is pretty wild. Really gives you an idea of the actual expectation that Daniels is operating under this year. Second in the country to Caleb Williams in Heisman odds, right? But if he's going to win the Heisman, he's got to increase the numbers. We're talking about on Scone T. So when you look, you lose Kayshon Boutte, who's your second leading receiver.
Yep.
And so it's like, okay, you got to make up those 600-700 yards, and you're going to have to add on top of that. Okay, Malik Neighbors is going to get his and probably get even more than he had last year. So it's like, okay, so then who's next?
Yeah, it's
Brian Thomas definitely feels like
one. Well, Neighbors, Thomas, Lacey.
Okay, yeah, we mentioned Thomas, we mentioned Lacey. Is Aaron Anderson working in as a slot, as kind of the fourth guy? Like, I guess I just forgot. I mean, when you think about it, this is a guy who was number 2 in the state coming out, 35th in the country, goes to Alabama. And now, even though he returned home, just kind of when I saw his name, I was like, "Oh God!"
Right, you didn't see him out there in the spring, and so
that
kind of forget.
Would explain it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what his role is going to be. Is it going to be in the slot at times? It's certainly going to be as a returner. That was a major issue for LSU last year. Hell, they were just looking for somebody that could field a punt last year and or kickoff at times, and so he is going to be the main returner. You're going to see him back there on kickoffs and on punts. And so that can be a real tool for you, considering how much of a deficiency it was a year ago. It makes you want to just close your eyes when you watch that tape of returners a year ago. So that's where his main role is going to be. And then he'll be fighting to be the fourth receiver. Now, the list of guys that are going to be fighting to be that fourth receiver,
it's long.
Good luck. I mean, like Chris Hilton Jr.
I know.
He's firmly going to be in that conversation. Shelton Sampson, who's a freshman, he'll be in that conversation. I mean, we could go down the list of guys that are going to have that opportunity. Cal Parker's going to have that opportunity, but the three. And if you're asking me, okay, give me who's going to lead in yards, I think it would go Neighbors, Lacey, Thomas, but touchdowns, because of Brian Thomas, because of his frame in the red area, he is going. If he had double digit, almost wouldn't be surprised, because he is such a weapon there. So you have 3 of the best in the country, right? That's not me just saying that. It's not T saying that. Anybody that I talk to, they're like, yeah, Ohio State's 1, but right under that is LSU as far as receiver rooms.
Wide receiver, you baby. It's actually, and you know what's kind of interesting about this year? This is a year in which I think if LSU wants to continue to get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that position, I feel like the receiver room has to come up big this year. I feel like there was a lot of this same talk going on last season, and it never quite came to fruition. And it's for a myriad of reasons. The offense is still learning one another. Jaden Daniels kind of had to learn through the season who he could trust, what the role was going to be, like the shape of the offense. You saw it evolve over the course of the year. Kayshon Boutte ends up not being nearly as effective as you would have thought he was going to be. I guess my point is, though, if you go, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, right? Like if you go a second year in a row with us hyping you up as one of the best receiving, one of the best position groups in the entire country, you have to put up really good numbers. You need a couple guys to touch 1,000 yards. How come nobody's talking about Washington? And maybe it's because they're not the most NFL talented, but I was looking up I don't know why.
Washington's got 2 All-American receivers.
Yeah. They got 2 guys coming back with over 75 catches, 1,000 yards, and 7 touchdowns. One had 9. They were sophomores last year, and their third leading receiver was a freshman
Yeah.
So if we're talking about great receiver groups like the Huskies,
they're
certainly
in
one
there.
to watch as well.
Yeah, they're in that top tier as well.
The point is, I don't know if you're going to get 2,000 receivers, but you need more like what that Washington group looked like statistically by year's end.
No, it feels like you'll have one. Obviously, Neighbors, he'll be your top dog, and then Lacey and Thomas will be very similar to each other. And then it's okay what happens behind there. You know, is it going to be a freshman? You mentioned Sampson. Is it going to be Jalen Brown? Like who's going to step up as a freshman? I like Chris Hilton a lot.
Yeah,
I think we've seen him make big plays before. We know what kind of top end speed that he has. So you've got the bodies in there.
I was at that Zachary. He was the Zachary
Yep.
guy, right? That game-winning touchdown screen pass against Western Monroe. I was seated amongst the Western Monroe fans and watched their hearts break.
I was calling that game.
Yeah, as Chris fumbled snap and everything, and then next thing you know, it's an 80-yard touchdown.
He had like 7 plays in that game. There was one in the corner of an end zone where he just mossed whoever was trying to cover him. Yeah. I was like, okay, who is this, and when does LSU sign him?
So a lot of talent in that group, excited to see how that wide receiver room is going to shape out, and then more excited to see can Jaden Daniels become that consistent threat, that chunk threat, right? What's the word? Explosive. That's the word I'm looking for. Bottom line, LSU's offense must be more explosive this year, and a lot of that lies through the Daniels and wide receiver rooms connections.
Another name we have not mentioned because, hey, look, it's July. We're relearning some of these things. Landon Abieta, who they signed, obviously from Louisiana, from South Louisiana.
Yep.
They signed him. Didn't play a lot last year. Played in the bowl game, and then spring had a huge play, like an 80-yard touchdown. So that's another body that's in that receiver room that is on scholarship that you signed that we've seen, some moments from, although it was in a spring game. Very deep room, kind of like all the other positions that we're talking about. You know who the frontline guys are. Let's see who those secondary guys are to step up.
So exciting stuff, man. Every day is a day. I mean, we're a week and a half away from SEC Media Days. We're less than 60 days now away from LSU FSU in Orlando. And starting to feel good, boys. Starting to feel good. Like we're talking about, it's a legendary matchup.
We got like 8 games in week 1 that could be pretty impactful.
Really? Some tasty boys?
To at least one of the teams, right? It might not be both. Now, we've got probably 4 that are going to be very impactful to both, but we've got some interesting Power 5 on Power 5 matchups in week 1. And it feels like maybe more than we've gotten in years past. Like it ends with LSU, Florida State, and then you get a little lanyap on a Monday. You've got Clemson traveling to Duke, and before you laugh, Duke won 9 games. Riley Leonard, very good quarterback. Mike Elko did a hell of a job. I think they were 9-4 last year, and 3 of the 4 losses were like by 2 points or less.
Actually, one of them was to Georgia Tech, who was quarterbacked by Jeff Sims, now the Nebraska quarterback. So
is this like you trying to make like fetch a thing like in Mean Girls?
No, dude. Jeff Sims, he's a good quarterback. One of my top 5 reasons why Nebraska will win 8 games.
I don't know if you remember this,
season.
but Duke had North Carolina all but beat, and then Drake May broke their hearts at the very end. That was one of their losses. So my point is, Duke's actually a pretty good football team with a really good quarterback, and that's an interesting Monday night game to kind of end week 1.
I'm a Clemson believer, though.
I am too.
This year. I think the Riley hire was very shrewd.
It was Dabo saying, you know what, I am loyal to a fault, but I can't do that anymore.
Yeah. But, the fault is mine, and it's time to fix it. All right. When we get back, I want to talk a little Dame Lillard, potentially, to the Pelicans. So keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon and get it done. We opened up the program today talking about Mason Smith. Big man on the bayou. Remember you used to have Julie Boudouin on to talk about, you did that awesome documentary series on Smith. Well, I've always loved watching Mason Smith, and you can watch and grub him with our guy, Gordon, the Grub with G series. Go find him on social media at Get Gordon. He has a sit down with Mason Smith where you can really start to understand the work ethic, the mental focus, the drive, the things that I've been talking about. It's all there on display. So again, follow Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys at Get Gordon. And if you need help, the Gordon 225-888-8888.
Yeah, once you go to that website, getgordon.com, you can do, pretty much anything. You can have a live chat right there with an agent. So if you can't get to the phone right now, you can also check out a list of cases that they can handle, past client results. All of that is right there on the website, on all social media. It is at Get Gordon. That is the handle there. But anywhere in the state of Louisiana, that area code followed by 888-8888.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come home, live Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down the
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. A surprise #1 pick in the MLB draft? Brian Sikowski of Perfect Game thinks so, and he'll join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
She got the power in her hand to shock you like you won't believe. Saw her in the Amazon with the voltage running through her skin. Standing there with nothing on. She gonna teach me how to swim.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
We'll talk about threads later in the show. The modern, just social scene and dynamics of the world are so weird sometimes. I don't know how to navigate them. Book it back to OTB. Sorry, stream of consciousness. There. We got Ross Jacks coming on 8:15. He's going to give us some Saints talk as they're preparing for their own training camp right around the corner at the end of this month. So looking forward to that. Right now, though, I want to talk a little New Orleans Pelicans as Dame Lillard has demanded a trade out of Portland, in case you missed it. I believe, boys, help me if I have any, because I've followed this kind of tangentially. Dame wants to go to Miami, correct?
Yes.
But it's a trade, so he doesn't necessarily control that. Portland gets to choose. And so he could end up not in Miami. I already see, though, a lot of the mouthpieces pushing the Dame to Miami thing, as NBA mouthpieces are wont to do. They tend to kind of dance to the tune of the superstar, which makes sense. You got to have access, agents, all that. Like, I get it, right? But it's not a guarantee that he's going to Miami. And there was an article, where was this on? At Yardbarker yesterday, where Sports Illustrated's Jeff Smith writes, quote, the Clippers, the T-Wolves, the Pelicans, the Celtics, those are the teams off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure there were more. Those are the teams off the top of my head that called and said, asked to see what it would take to get Dame Lillard. And the Pelicans were brought up as maybe even potentially the best trade partner. There's a lot of different angles to this, but I'll start here. And I'll ask you, Mario. When I look at what it would take to get Dame, you know it's going to have to be Herb, probably in there, right? Probably going to have to be Trey Murphy. Why I don't know if it's like PTSD from the Dell Demps era, where you just were always in try to win now by getting an old guy moves, but like, why am I so hesitant to want to make that deal for one of the best players in the NBA that would probably make you a playoff team guaranteed immediately?
Yeah, that's fair. But my retort is, this is freaking Dame Lillard. Like, even in the best case scenario, the big trade that you're kind of referencing there, DeMarcus Cousins, if he stays healthy, maybe that would have been really good for the Pelicans. This could be more impactful than that. I would compare this to trading for like Dirk Nowitzki circa like 09-10. Like, Dame is still arguably playing the best basketball of his career. He averaged 32 points a game, 7 assists per game last season. He had a 71-point game against the Rockets. And I love Trey and Herb as much as the next guy, but this is like a generational player might be selling it short. Like, this is one of the great point guards of all time, in my opinion. If you're able to swing the bat and get Damian Lillard, you do it.
And so no concern about him being 32 years old?
None.
At this time, as you looking to build towards the future?
Nah, you as the Pelicans got to give yourself credit as an organization developing, these guys that you would trade, Trey and Herb, and them being good enough to be able to get a guy like Damian Lillard. Like, those guys have great future. They both have all-star potential, which is why this trade makes sense for Portland, but it makes sense for the Pelicans too, because your title window like increases exponentially. It's like Kawhi going to the Raptors. Like, we'll see what happens going forward, but the impact he would have immediately would be massive.
Now, what about, doesn't make sense for Dame, though? Because that's the other part of this that I feel like I have a bit of PTSD from, is he clearly does not want to be here. And maybe it's not even about New Orleans as much. He clearly, though, wants to be in Miami. Are you at all worried about the specter of the disgruntled superstar?
Not really. He signed through 2 more years. Look at what the Raptors did. They took the same risk. Kawhi only played 1 year, but they won a championship. I say you take that risk.
Ooh, that's a hell of a gamble, though.
It is.
Look what's happened to the Raptors since.
It is. But again, Damian freaking Lillard is who we're talking about. Like, I think it will be worth it in the end. And who knows? If it has a good start, the vibes are good here. He respects C.J. McCollum a lot, who I think would stay on the team. I think Willie Green is respected around the league. I think you could convince him. And again, this is just a conversation we're having. A whole lot needs to happen for him to even get to New Orleans, but I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world.
All right, so we're talking, it'd be Dame, CJ, B.I., Zion, Valanciunas. That's your 5.
Yeah, Valanciunas might have to go out in the trade too, just for salary. And you might have to get Jokic back, which is a downgrade there, but you still have Damian Lillard. Defensively, he's probably better than Jonas. But
all right, so then, like, what would your bench look like, considering what you'd have to give up? I mean,
you still have Dyson Daniels in there.
You still have Najee Marshall, who you just re-signed.
Yes, and you probably
you'll have Jordan Hawkins.
Would Kyra go maybe in a potential trade?
He seems to be rumored to kind
Hernan
of.
Gomez, would he maybe get elevated a little bit?
Hernan Gomez.
You got to get creative for sure, but at the end of the day, some of the young guys would take on much bigger roles. Like Dyson would have to play a lot more minutes. Hawkins would have to be thrown into the fire immediately. Najee Marshall would continue to play a huge role. And again, if you're
we forget about Jose.
And Jose, and
Jose.
if you're the Pelicans, you got to give yourself credit for, developing these players. But in the NBA, you need stars. If you really want to get to this next level, you probably eventually have to make a trade like this.
Yeah. I guess you're right. I just get nervous about just seeing it all blow up again and feeling like you traded some of your long-term development for short-term gains that didn't play out. But fear gets you nowhere.
But and two, also, like, you have so many draft choices that you've just kind of held on to and you've had, and we're always like, hey, do something with those. Like, make those into something. Trade those for now. The future, that's great. But now also you have B.I., you have Zion, you have CJ, you have these players now that you can go win. You can go make a postseason run. Like, we understand winning an NBA championship is it's really far in the distance. We understand all that. But, like, go get a 4 seed.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree. Like, if they don't make the playoffs again, then it's, regime change talk has to take place. So, with that in mind, you'd probably lean towards this trade even more because you are kind of in do or die mode if you're David Griffin in this current makeup of the Pelicans.
Yeah, I just think it makes a lot of sense from Portland. Like, this reminds me a lot of when Anthony Davis was traded from the Pelicans. AD at the time had 1 year left on his contract, and Dame has 2. But he's pretty much trying to force himself to a certain situation, to a certain place while he's still under contract. But from Portland's point of view, I think a trade with the Pelicans would look really good in terms of what they're getting back. And I think the Timberwolves are a really good trade partner, too. This article mentions them. They have Karl Anthony Towns that they can give Portland. And then in Minnesota, you would have Dame Lillard. You would have Anthony Edwards. You would have Rudy Gobert, who can now focus on defense. In terms of what Portland can get back, I really think New Orleans and Minnesota are the best trade partners.
I got to be honest. I like New Orleans better for that reason. Like, yeah, they have Karl Anthony Towns, but you're trading Damian Lillard. You're clearly trying to build for the future. Yeah. You get 2 young guys and Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. Like, for what you're doing, New Orleans is probably better. And then in a New Orleans standpoint, this is perfect because what did we talk about all last year? Who's that guy that's going to take the big shot for New Orleans? You need that one guy. There is not a guy in the league, in my opinion, that I would rather take the last shot than Damian Lillard. I think it's perfect for both sides.
It is weird, though, because B.I.'s kind of made himself into that fourth quarter killer a bit after struggling with it for a while. Like,
he can be the fourth quarter killer, but last shot.
Final shot, there's not a better guy in the league.
The Iceman,
and also, he has played, every year of his career, he's played at least 58 games outside of one.
Well,
in 21-22 when he only played 29. He's played 82 games, so every game for 3 years of his career, and he's gotten close to it 3 other times. Four other times, actually.
Just wait till he comes here, Jake. There's a first time for everything. He's going to come here. Who just knocked on wood? Was that you, Mario?
Yes. When y'all were out on Monday, when all the Heat news came out, I made the joke that if Dame goes there, I'll just become a Heat fan full time. Like, I'll just broadcast for the Pelicans. If he came to the Pelicans, my God, man.
All right, there you go. Trade for Dame, the official OTB stance. When we get back, let's close out hour number 1 of Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Look, they're right there off of Airline Highway, okay? And the selection's incredible. If you just want to go check out the on-the-lot selection, see what they can offer you immediately. Maybe you want to custom order somewhere that you like try out vehicles. Maybe they don't have the color. Maybe you want a different package. Maybe you want something like how I did with the Murdered Out Mini. The point is you go into All-Star and they can make it happen for you, make your dreams a reality. And I cannot brag on the Sienna enough. Remember, I got the 2020, so it's a few years old now at this point, but I'm on Lake this weekend. We're talking 3 kids, giant dog, wife, all the bags, super comfortable because of the customizability of the Sienna. So explore it. All the options, all the deals, the best people are all there for you at All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
You can explore it when you buy a new vehicle. You can explore it if you lease a vehicle. And also, you can explore it if you rent one. Per day rental prices, fantastic. The full fleet is available. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This summer, retirement is a state of mind. Whether it's a mid-morning activity or an early bird special, grab a Coors Light and chill like you're retired.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Turn my music high, 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 yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets with a hood to swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. The cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. With personalities clashing, chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like it's Wall Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further...
Charles Hager, join me and Jimmy out for the next edition of Live at Lunch. We're at the original walk-ons, Burbank and Nicholson. Live at lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Do you think that, would CJ be pissed if all of a sudden Dame was back?
I don't think so.
As his boss?
His boss?
Isn't that kind of, I'm just saying, you get what I'm saying. Isn't that like, okay, so I don't know if y'all know in comic books, Robin eventually becomes Nightwing, the original Robin, right?
Right.
Because he needs to kind of do his own thing. He goes to the city of Bloodhaven, and he becomes Nightwing. What happens if Batman shows up and he's like, hey, I'm in Bloodhaven now? Like, Nightwing's kind of like, okay, it's great to see you, man, Bruce. You know, I got a lot of questions about why you took me away as a 9-year-old child and raised me to fight crime and get shot at all the time. Like, I feel like I have major mental issues because of it, but whatever, we don't need to explore that here. Like, all I'm saying is, what happens if suddenly Batman comes through again? Do you put the Robin little panties back on?
No, I don't think so. And remember, it's not like CJ left Portland by choice. He got traded because they were trying to rebuild. He loved playing with Dame Lillard. Both of those guys have been quoted like basically flirting with each other or flirting with the idea of playing together again. I don't think that'd be a problem at all.
Do you agree, Jake?
So I'm trying to think of another comp. I'm trying to think of another one that kind of stands out, and I'm sure we can get there during the break of someone that maybe broke away and then, you know, the superstar joined him in his new destination. I'm sure we can get there. But, I mean, to Mario's point, he did get traded. It's not like, you know, he signed and tried to get away on his own and then Dame gets traded there. They have a great relationship from everything that you read and see. So, look.
It just seemed like CJ relished
I understand,
the opportunity
I get what you're saying. Even if he's not, like, mad at Dame, he's kind of like, man, I worked hard to get to this point where I'm kind of like, I'm part of the big three, the big two, whatever you want to call it. Like,
yes.
It's kind of like I'm the veteran presence here on this team.
Yeah, exactly. He's been the papa of the team. And he has like embraced that role fully, even to the point of leading by example and playing with a broken hand when others are sitting out for no reason.
Wait, which player?
There's a couple of them actually.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple of them. So it doesn't stop you from making the trade or anything, but it is something a bit interesting to think about. I do know this. In terms of where you would want to live, I get it. If you got a lot of money, South Beach is probably awesome, but like certainly New Orleans over Minnesota. I mean, you play basketball during the winter.
Yeah, weather alone.
Are you kidding me? Like, get the hell out of here. Nobody wants to live in Minnesota during the winter. I mean, if you're an NBA player in New Orleans, you can get the hell out of here during the summer. Remember Dame Lillard? He's like, what? Everybody's talking about it's hot out here. I'm like chilling outside. Or excuse me, not CJ McCollum. We're talking about how like I'm like chilling outside, drinking wine on my porch. Like, it's beautiful down here. Yeah. You're here in December, in January. Like, hell yeah. So don't go to Minnesota, Dame. Come on, Griff. Pull it off.
I don't know anything about Minneapolis. Like, I know nothing. I know it's cold, though. That's the one thing I do know.
Hour number 2 next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Rejuve Me Medical. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. Dame, you're 32 years old, okay? Check it out. Come on down here. If you need a little hookup at an anti-aging clinic, we got you. Okay, you can go into Rejuve Me, get your labs drawn, maybe explore whether or not HRT is for you. And the bottom line is just feel younger, better, like you used to when you were in your prime. You don't have to just, like, you can do upkeep like we do in our cars, our computers, our homes, everything. You can do that on your body. And it's very fun and easy over there at Rejuve Me Medical.
Go to RejuveMeMedical.com, get your consultation set up because, like T-Bob's talking about, you get to become 32, 33, whatever it is, 38. Like myself, maybe something's going on and you can't quite put your finger on it. Well, they can help you, right? Because there's a long list of things that could be going on with you. They'll get to the bottom of it, but you can't do it unless you get that consultation. Get it set up today, RejuveMeMedical.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Thursday, July 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 90. Coming up on OTB, Ross Jackson of the Locked On Saints podcast joins the show at 8:15. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Look, guys, look, Minneapolis, I get it. It's a cool city, no doubt, right? They have, they're hipsters, they got craft beers. I'm sure the board game scene, like everywhere with harsh winters, has incredible board game scenes. So don't get me wrong, cool city and all that. But I'm sorry, if you're an NBA player and your season is during the height of winter, that's the literal worst time to live in Minneapolis. Like, that's just a fact, okay? And I think the climes of New Orleans would be much better during the winter than would Minneapolis. And Emil says the cold isn't that bad. Look, I don't know. This is just anecdotal, but when one of my best friends lived there, he used to constantly send updates during the winter, and it was the iPhone alerts popping off and being like, do not go outside with exposed skin. You will die. And it's like -15, -18. Like I'm not built like that. Okay, I'm built different. Maybe built for the heat. I ain't built for that cold like that. And I don't think Dame is either.
Daniel Basham brings up a great point, though. Minneapolis is also home to Turbo Man.
Yes.
Big flex for Minneapolis.
That's a big win for them.
That's a big flex.
God, the weather did look great on that Christmas day too. Yeah. It was so sunny and beautiful.
Yeah.
After all, Arnold's on the phone with Dame's agent. You're my favorite customer.
You're my number one customer.
With Portland. Emil says, I can tell T-Bob's getting old how many times he drops hipster for a place he's never been. LOL. Hello.
I've been there.
Are you an idiot? Minneapolis would absolutely score top 10 in the nation if you're talking about major hipster cities. Now, I'm sure you're going to have like some place in Texas I can't remember that everybody got obsessed with for a bit, but like Brooklyn, Minneapolis, okay, whatever. Go walk the streets of Minneapolis. Tell me how much suspenders, Portland, how many suspenders, handlebar mustaches, I'm sure that's still there. It's turbo time. Whatever, screw y'all, dude. If y'all want Dame to go to Minnesota, you have fun with it, okay? I want Dame to come down here to the 504. Put it on for the Pelicans. Who has a better crowd? Minnesota fans. We think the Pelicans have been. Minnesota fans have been given nothing.
Do some research there, Mario. Is Target Center? Is that where they play?
Yeah.
See maybe what the average attendance was for home games.
It's pretty on par. They're like the Pelicans. If the team is not like playoff caliber, nobody's going to show up, and the attendance is going to be embarrassingly bad. But if they're a fringe playoff team, like they've been the last couple of years, they will show up. And for what it's worth, the Pelicans right ahead of the Timberwolves on ESPN's NBA attendance report. The Timberwolves are 27th, average of 16,768 fans. Pelicans are 26th, 16,772.
That's a dub, boys. That is a factual duh.
Yeah. That's just numbers.
Attendance. I mean, that's just
numbers.
Numbers never lie.
No, words lie, numbers don't.
Yeah, that's right, baby. That's just numbers right there. Yeah.
So he's coming to New Orleans.
And I love hipster stuff, dude, by the way. I always have. I hope he comes to New Orleans. That'd be sick. Mario, you've convinced me. Screw Trey Murphy and I don't really care about them anymore.
Yeah, that attendance is definitely cracking 17K if Dame Lillard is in a Pelicans uniform.
Wow, that's such a sad statement. At least though, last thing on the Pels here. At least we live in a time where you don't have to feel like secondhand embarrassment about the superstar joining your franchise. Like, the facilities are nice. There's solid hierarchical leadership in place now. Like, we're not at the low point of came in and Eric Gordon looked like they'd just been sentenced to Angola. Taking a picture in front of the white bricks.
Blink if you need help.
Yeah, just like in the Hilario Center, just sad. Getting traded to a Bush League, G League team, essentially. Like, the Pelicans are no longer that, which is, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, there's levels to this.
Yes,
you know?
yes, there are levels to everything in life. Speaking of, the question becomes, what level is the LSU football team going to be on this year? And this was an interesting sit-down Mario put in front of us here that Brian Kelly had with SEC columnist Blake Topmeyer. This was back in June. And he asked Brian Kelly about, the expectation, competing for a national championship. LSU will be favored to win the West, I think, when we emerge out of media days. And will likely, if you looked at championship odds right now, they definitely be top 10. I'm not sure if they would crack top 5 because the Georgia thing makes it harder for other SEC teams to gain momentum there. But the point is, it's not crazy to talk about a national championship expectation here in year number 2. Here's what Brian Kelly had to say, quote, "We need another year of recruiting. One more really good year on both sides of the ball, I think, puts us in a position where I think year 3, the consistency piece, the depth of our program, the messaging, all the things we do on a day-to-day basis, puts us in a position to compete for a championship." What I find, yeah, go ahead.
FanDuel has them 5th.
Okay, so they are cracking top 5.
To back up you, right there. So it's Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, Michigan, LSU.
Wow. Jane Daniels second behind. So I guess all of this is to say, I get what Kelly is coming from. Year 3 tends to be the year in which, look, that's when Coach O had the 15-0 year. Like, year 3 tends to be the prove it.
National championship.
Yeah, the prove it year. It's the same thing with why I'm so hard on Steve Sarkisian. It's year 3. This is the prove it year. So I get what Kelly's saying, but at the same time, Jake, I can't fathom a world in which they have a better setup than this year. Because it looks like you've got a relatively weak Alabama. You have a Georgia that will be dominant, but is also replacing the most important pieces, as we talked about yesterday. They kind of pushed them across the national championship finish line. You have an Ohio State with a new quarterback, and then you have a quarterback. You have Mason. It just feels like, yes, maybe from a program top to bottom, how he feels like it would be progressing, that year 3, Brian Kelly, LSU will be better and he'll love where they're at. But it does feel like this is probably the better window of the 2 years to fight for one.
Yeah, when you look around you, not to say that Alabama is going to be bad. We all know it's not going to be the case, but this feels like a year where you had that momentum. You beat them a year ago. You had the most important position not only figured out once, you kind of have it figured out twice.
True.
With Nussmeier sitting there, and Alabama's still trying to find out who that guy under center is going. Nobody gets under center anymore, but if they did, you can imagine what that would be like. Behind center?
Yeah, behind center.
5 yards behind.
Probably more accurate.
Behind center. And when you look at, having a game like Florida State to get ready for in the opener, knowing what a win like that can do for your momentum, even that sets you up. Now, it's a difficult game. It's going to be hard as hell to win that game, but that sets you up to kind of propel you into one of those special years. Like, when you look at the history of, LSU having big championship type seasons, they've had a game like that early in the season that's kind of created that momentum. Y'all were Oregon.
Yep.
Like in 2011, 2019 had Texas week number 2. We had Virginia Tech week number 2 in 07. I had to go back and see who 03 had. They had one of the same, but championship type seasons, you've had a marquee matchup in the first 2 games. So you have that, and that, man, you win that. You're talking about playing Grambling the next week. You're 2-0. You're heading to Starkville, 11 a.m. kickoff, like we said. But
and
your
that's
momentum.
a friendly SEC opener. Like, I get it. It's
It
a
is.
little weird. Starkville, 11 a.m. is a little odd, but, like, that's a big-time dip your toe in the water opener. Like, that's way harder on the opponent than it is on you. So that's a very friendly schedule breakdown.
LSU in 2003 played at Arizona week 2.
Oh, there you go.
And for the record, they won 59-13.
That game was on TBS.
Yeah.
What?
I remember watching
Superstation?
that randomly. It was on TBS.
Oh, yeah.
They had college football.
I
want to say Joe Adai had like a monster game. I could be completely wrong. One of the running backs did, either him or Chiron or somebody.
Mario, you had some interesting parallels that you wrote down here between Brian Kelly and Kim Mulkey.
Yeah, Kim Mulkey said the same thing. I was trying to find the audio. I couldn't. But whenever they had their first press conference at the NCAA tournament in Greenville, she went on her whole rant about how it's ridiculous how people expect them to make the Final Four this year. You got to be kidding me and all this stuff. Of course, they go to the Final Four. They win the whole thing. So I wouldn't really trip that much about Kelly's comments. That doesn't mean they can't do it this year.
Yeah, okay, I guess that's a good point as well. I don't think, like, if your reaction is you hear this and you're like, what the hell, Brian Kelly's not trying to win a natty? No, nothing could be further from the truth. You got to remember, though, Kelly has a 10-year deal, okay? So he has to have one foot of his brain in each bucket, right? Like, yes, he has to be thinking immediately, this year, this team, what do we need? But at the same time, like any good CEO or anything else, he has to be laying track for the future. And he has to be forward-thinking as well. And he can't be purely result-oriented. He has to continue to be process-oriented. And, when you think about it through that time orientation, thinking forward to the future, well, yeah, of course you're going to feel better about year 3 because it's a whole nother year of your process coming to fruition, of being put into play, of recruiting more, so you don't have to top off. Like you're still not even really topping off with the transfer portal. You're still filling up with the transfer portal, right? Like maybe by year number 3, you get to the top off point. So yes, it has nothing to do with this year and just everything to say that he likes the positive momentum of the program as a whole. I just think it's interesting because I do believe that objectively this year is the better window. Even though I think you'll still be very good in year number 3, there's a lot of elements lining up for you seemingly on paper.
And you have the most important part, in my opinion, the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, it's football.
The other teams are breaking in a new quarterback. It doesn't matter even if they're good. Like, it's still going to take some time for them to be at their peak.
Yep.
You already have that guy. And then you've got someone behind him in Garrett Nussmeier that pushes him every single day. Like, Jaden Daniels realizes he can't rest on his laurels. Like, he's got to every single day show up and be the guy because he's got this guy just chomping at the bit behind him. And so you look at the other Georgia and you look at Ohio State, you look at Alabama, like, it's going to take them some time, and you hope to be a well-oiled machine by the time that you get to face those teams.
I like this LSU schedule in terms of testing you and getting you ready. It's one of the main reasons why I do not think Georgia's going to be lifting that Natty Trophy for a 3rd time in a row. They're going to be untested, and when they get hit in the mouth, they're going to have no idea how to respond.
There's also some conferences like in the Power 5, like the Big 12 and the Pac-12, that I think they're really good conferences this year.
I know, Pac-12 is so funny. Like, they're dying, and
I think they're going to beat. Yeah, they're going to beat
riskiest year.
It could be
decade.
Maybe longer than that.
Yeah,
but they're going to beat each other up. It feels like they're almost going to cancel each other out.
True.
As far as like playoff spots, if we're trying to get to a Final Four, like right now in the Big 12, it's very interesting. You got 2 teams that are sitting there knowing they're going to go to the SEC, but you're also adding 4 teams, and they're all going to play in this huge conference, all just for 1 year. And I don't really know who the favorite's going to be. Like, everybody's going to throw Texas out there, most talented team according to Urban Meyer and all of that. But I mean, how many years have we heard that? And everybody forgets Kansas State was actually the Big 12 champion last year.
Yeah.
TCU goes to a national championship.
What do you mean?
But Kansas State was actually the champion of that conference, and they've got a lot coming back. TCU, yeah, they lost a lot, but they did some big things in the transfer portal. So those 2 conferences, in my opinion, are going to beat each other up. The Big 10 feels like a 3-team race.
Yep.
The SEC feels like you've got probably 4 teams that can make some noise, and the ACC's got 2.
Yeah. It was kind of fascinating for LSU is that it feels like it's, again, like we talked about yesterday, all on the line week 1.
Yeah.
The Heisman hopes, the playoff hopes. Let's freaking, the die has been cast. Like, let's go, boys. I am so hyped up. Also, the Big Ten reminds me of, Jake? You seen Total Recall?
Yeah, I've seen both versions. I've seen the Arnold and the Colin Farrell.
Yeah. They're the one with 3 boobs. A little top heavy.
Okay.
The rest of it you can just kind of ignore, right?
Yeah.
But that's the Big Ten when it comes to this season.
All right, is a big drop-off. Good analogy there. It's a big drop-off from Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State into the next team because Purdue, I think, is going to take a step back. Yeah. I like Illinois, but I don't know that they're going to have enough offense. Minnesota's going to be good, not going to be great.
Keep going. And
that team that you want me to say has a big matchup week 1. We can get to that.
I know, Minnesota, baby. Let's go. PJ Flick about to get smoked. We got Ross up next.
I don't care.
We cannot come in talking Minnesota, Nebraska with Ross on the Horn to talk some Saints. Not even I can do that. Look, I know we're both proud members of the
Scott Shanley played for Nebraska. He played for the Saints.
I'm going to need a little more Nebraska love out of you or Huskers out the hub.
See, but you don't listen to my afternoon show where I talked about it for 15 minutes yesterday.
And said what?
What?
You're going to win 8 games with a bowl game?
Just talked about how important that opener is. If they win that opener, then we're talking about a different conversation.
If they win the opener, the over's looking good. I put money on the over yesterday.
What'd you get it at?
We'll get to all this. Because we're already late. Let's get to Ross, and then we'll revisit the hub later. # Corn Hub. We are your Southern delegation for. I am so thirsty.
Make sure to verify with that ID though.
I am so thirsty, trying to get Nebraska fans to message me. I keep tweeting the Husk Guys account. And I'm like, please just follow me. Like, I just need some sort of acknowledgement. I'm trying to be the torchbearer of the South, and I'm just not getting anything in return. Please. I'm going to have like a Stan type moment where I turn on him and end up killing everybody.
Look, just like put it out there. Be like, hey, I know Bill Bush. I know the Burrows.
True.
Like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Come hang out. I promise. I'm not creepy.
I look desperate.
I know.
I'm on my knees over here, man. I even offered to buy $50 of Pipeline Jerky, their offensive line NIL-sponsored jerky, if they would just follow me. They won't do it.
Can Shanley, who came on the show a couple of weeks ago, can he not get you in?
I don't know, guys. I'm not. I think maybe they think I'm being mean or joking, but I'm not. I believe. All right, whatever. Let's get to Ross Jackson next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Something else. After further review with Matt Moscona, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You've heard about it. We've got it. Semaglutide. RejuveMeMedical.com.
So join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. State of the program. We'll do LSU football, LSU basketball, LSU baseball, Saints. Tune in Thursday, 1 to 3, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Right now, it is my absolute pleasure to be joined by the host of Locked On Saints, a man who does a ton of great work with the Locked On Network. I was only too happy to receive a wonderful picture of him and Jake Madison the other day. Two excellent guys just chopping up. Ross, why were you all together the other night? What was going on there? Welcome into the show.
Sometimes Jake and I. What's up, homie? Thanks so much, y'all, for having me on. Good to see you both. Sometimes Jake and I just kick it. Like, it's that simple. Oh, wow. And it was like an easy day on the 4th of July, so we just headed over to Bayou Beer Garden and just hung out for a little bit. It was nice.
Oh, man. That was my old favorite spot.
I hear you talk about that place like glowingly.
It's like one of those things where, and you get older and older, right? And you don't make new memories. So the old memories just take on greater importance. And so, like, yes, I never replaced it as my neighborhood bar. It's the only place I've ever lived where I could just ride my bike for 2 minutes, be there. And so I was just there like 24/7. Last time I went, though, I got kicked out. I tried to bring my baby. They wouldn't let me, which was crazy. They used to let babies in there, but it was years ago. But they were starting to get a little fancy. You know, they had like big HD television and menus outside. Have they retained the ambiance, Ross?
Yeah, and they also opened up like the wine section in the back too. Yeah, that's like a specific spot for that. So there's like you can kind of pick your vibe a little bit more now and everything. Because I remember what it used to be, and it's got like a really nice vibe, but it's they've classed it up a little bit, in a good way.
Okay, well, good on you, BBG. I'll always have love for you in my heart. So Ross is host of Locked On Saints, obviously, and this is anticipation season, right? This is where you do deep dives into the team, not just because you have to do daily content, but because like once the season starts, it's a runaway train. and you're just trying to hold on and talk about all the millions of things that need to be talked about. This is where you can get nerdy with things. And yesterday's pod's probably a great example of that, where you explore who the Saints' most reliable weapon is on offense. And you do this by looking at like route distribution, usage, all these sorts of metrics. Ross, maybe you could tease without spoiling, or just give us the answer. What did you find in your nerdy research? Who will be the Saints' most reliable weapon next season?
Yeah, no, I don't mind giving the answer at all. For me, it's Chris Olave. I mean, the guy was remarkable last year, and I know that it's only been 1 year, but certain players, you only need 1 year to see him. This is a guy that on average had a success rate of over 75%, both against man and zone coverage, according to Reception Perception, who does some phenomenal research on, routes and all these other things that I use to kind of cross-reference my own charting and stuff like that. And, you look at some of the success rates and some of the things that he's been able to do. He wins against press coverage consistently and reliably. He wins against man coverage and zone coverages at a rate akin to guys like Stephon Diggs out there. So you're talking about some elite wide receiver separation ability, some elite wide receiver route running ability, all of these things. I mean, he just packs all of it. And then there's another metric that I love, which I think we use more in baseball than we use across other sports and things like that, because it's kind of like a pitcher metric almost, but it's called wins above replacement. Yeah. And so the idea is, what's the amount of wins that a team gets with this player on the field, as opposed to a replacement level player, assuming that the team is otherwise a 3-14, 4-13 team. And Chris Olave is basically good for a win every 2 games by simply having him on the field. He was top 10 in that metric amongst over 190 different receivers that fell under that category. So an incredibly reliable player, and a player that when he's on the field, it's simply put, the Saints win games.
And so he's representative of a group where there's a couple of guys to look at here, and it's these second-year players, Ross. And there's a bit of a second-year zeitgeist going on in Baton Rouge right now with Kim Mulkey, Jay Johnson, winning natties. Everybody's talking about Brian Kelly. When it comes to the Saints, who do you think are going to – and obviously Chris Olave's are the number, as you just said, but who else do you believe is kind of poised to take a second-year leap?
Yeah, I think Rashid Shaheed, the other second-year wide receiver who was an undrafted free agent last year, he was an electrifying player, just didn't have a lot of opportunities last year, and for understandable reason. I mean, he was rehabbing a collegiate injury when he first arrived in New Orleans that kind of sidelined him for things like mini camps and OTAs and things like that, which we just watched with Derek Carr how important those are. They're installing in-game situations, red zone situations, in between the 20 situations, all that other stuff, which kind of sets that foundation upon which you build during training camp, which he also missed, a majority of. And then he was on the practice squad, didn't get called up until a certain point after Deontay Hardy's injury. So there just simply, he didn't have a command of the playbook because he didn't have a lot of exposure to the playbook. Now he has that. And I've spoken to Rashid a couple different times during mini camps and OTAs about how comfortable he's feeling with the playbook, and he's got it. I mean, this is not a guy that's, in 3 years going to be saying, I was out there, but I didn't really understand the playbook very well. I was still learning it. He's got it. And so he's in a situation now to where he's got 17 games ahead of him if he stays healthy to be the guy that we saw him be last year, which was this explosive player, but that could also attack all 3 levels of the field that you don't have to rely on to just be a field stretcher. So he's absolutely in that number for sure. Alontae Taylor, the second-year cornerback, that's another big one. They have the big position battle that we'll watch over the course of training camp between he and Paulson Adebo. So he may inherently have a step forward in year 2 just because of the role that he could potentially win. But we also know how remarkable he was. 12 forced incompletions last year, a 19% forced incompletion percentage, allowed only about a 48 or so, 48, 46 percent completion percentage, drop, terrible QB metrics when targeting Alontae Taylor. So he was outstanding last year. And so I think an increased role would give him an opportunity there. And just to say the name real quick too, Trevor Penning, another guy that would naturally step into a larger role in 2023.
Ross, I want to go back to the receiver position. If it's the first game of the year, it's 11 personnel, like it, fully expected to be Olave, Thomas, and Shaheed if they're all healthy, correct? Because I know you have Traquan Smith and you have James Washington, you have Brian Edwards, who are veteran players.
Still have Traquan Smith.
Are they just players that are fillers right now just in case something happens and you have another injury?
Wow.
Yeah, I do think that, that depth at wide receiver is going to be – oh, sorry. I must have cut you out a little bit. But I do think that the depth at wide receiver is important for them because you're right. It is the big three. And then who's the guy that you go to behind that? Right. Not even just in terms of, injury. It's also, what do you do when you want to go to a four wide receiver set, or you just want to mix in another player for a different personnel group or something like that. So I think Bryan Edwards is a guy to watch in that role as a potential wide receiver 4, if you will. I think the chemistry that he has with Derek Carr is huge, but he's also got a lot of positional versatility. Back in 2021, the last season that he played with Derek Carr, took a lot of snaps out wide, took a lot of snaps on the interior, playing in the slot and things like that. He ran about 99, around 100 different go routes, but then exceeded 30 reps at about 4 or 5 different routes as well. So good command of the route tree, good understanding of the offense. And that was a similar offense at the time in Las Vegas than what the New Orleans Saints would be running this year. So you can kind of see where the natural fit there would be. The interesting thing, though, is that you come out in 11 personnel, you've got 3 wide receivers, and you've got Chris Olave, you've got Michael Thomas, you got Rashid Shaheed, but who lines up where? Who's in the slot? Who's on the outside? That's where, if you're the New Orleans Saints, you get to have a lot of fun. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Chris Olave lined up at the X, Rashid Shaheed lined up at the Z, which puts them in sort of the outside roles, with Rashid Shaheed a little bit off the line of scrimmage, so he doesn't have to deal with the press coverage as much. And especially knowing how good Chris Olave has been against press coverage, you can put him right up on the line of scrimmage and then utilize Michael Thomas in the slot, because the Saints had a big time percentage drop off of slot distribution for Michael Thomas last year as compared to some of his best years. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more, around 25% or so slot distribution for Michael Thomas in 2023.
Yes, T-Bob, Traquan Smith is still on the team.
Okay.
And
yes.
I know the Saints.
Sorry.
All good. I know the Saints really do value his blocking skills. I made kind of a snarky comment that I think Ross heard, that I said he's the best blocking wide receiver of all time.
Oh, you can't think because he can hear all mics are open to him, right?
That was my bad.
That's why I got confused. I was like, you didn't cut anybody off. No, wait, what'd you say?
I made a snarky comment and said Traquan Smith is the best blocking wide receiver of all time. But the Saints really do value his blocking skills.
Oh, okay.
I was like sitting there, I thought I heard Bryan Edwards' name, and then I started talking. All of a sudden, I heard Traquan Smith, and I was like, "Oh, my bad, sorry."
What about? Wait, Mark, did you have a question? Okay. What about Trevor Penning? Because to me, the offensive line is the big question mark on maybe this team right now. I mean, in terms of things that will really decide which direction the season's going to go, and then you look at O-line, maybe no more important position than left tackle. And yes, first round overall pick, but a guy from a small school, kind of a relative project, and then one who catches a Liz Frank injury at the worst possible time. A lot of that does not feel good, Ross.
Yeah, it's concerning, especially when you're talking about, one of these bigger guys dealing with lower body injuries. That's always, got its own stigma and everything around it. But look, this is a New Orleans Saints team that, much like its secondary last year in terms of the intended starting 5 of the secondary, if you assume that Trevor Penning was to be the starting left tackle at the beginning of the season last year, which, as things went on before the dislocated toe injury against the Chargers early on in the preseason, it looked like maybe it was trending towards that direction. It would mean that if you assume that that's correct, that the New Orleans Saints never played a single game last year with their starting 5 on their offensive line, including Trevor Penning missing the first 12 weeks and the final weeks, because then you go on from that to, lose Eric McCoy for a stretch of games, lose Cesar Ruiz for a stretch of games. Andres Pete missed 5 games sprinkled in and all these other things. And so, I think that that's such a big piece to the success of this offensive line is, where's your anchor and who are the guys that are going to be able to stay on the field? So health is such a big question mark across the trenches over on the offensive side. But if Trevor Penning is able to stay healthy, they consider him, they see sky's the limit for him. They consider him the starter of the future at the position. He's just got to be able to stay on the field. And this is a relatively new development for him. So hopefully it's something he'll be able to bounce back from. We watched Taysom Hill come back and play a full season off of a Liz Frank injury, but we have to consider the difference in body type, the difference in, how they're using their body. Yeah, exactly. What they're using those feet for, all these other things. So I think there's a lot of different metrics there, but there is something hopeful to say in terms of, okay, we watched that happen. And Trevor Penning won't be alone because Cesar Ruiz will be returning from, a foot injury of a similar kind as well. And so I think both of those guys are ones that you're going to want to watch along with the rest of the offensive line to just see if they can stay healthy in the first place.
Ross, the tight end room was one of the biggest question marks. And going into the draft, you thought the Saints were going to draft a quarterback, not knowing what was happening behind the scenes with Foster Moreau, and now obviously he gets great news over the weekend. And you look at this tight end room, Juwan Johnson, Foster Moreau, Taysom Hill, Jesse James, all these guys are completely different. It's a very unique tight end room. How do you think these guys will kind of be utilized? Like, Could we see multiple tight ends in 11 personnel? Would it be Johnson with the first crack, maybe Foster in there as well? 12 personnel gets interesting. How do you think that their kind of roles kind of shape up as we enter training camp?
Yeah, I think you get to see a little bit more passing out of 12 personnel, but then you have and 12 personnel, of course, meaning one running back, two tight ends on the field, first number designated to the number of running backs, second number designated to the number of tight ends, then you fill in the rest with the wide receivers. But I think with that 12 personnel, with having those two tight ends on the field, that's usually a run-heavy set. You see NFL teams run out of that set, maybe 3/4 of the time or so is a pretty safe assumption. We could say over half of the time to be safe. But I think that New Orleans could probably get a little bit closer to half if that's the case. And that's something, if you remember right, that they wanted to do when they drafted Adam Troutman back in 2020. The first thing that Sean Payton said was, now we can run a lot more 12 personnel, get some more of these tight ends out on the field, things like that. And so I think that, we saw a lot of that personnel group for the Saints last year. Some of it had to do with the fact that they barely had enough wide receivers after a certain point to put on the field. Some of it is about how do you count Taysom Hill in certain situations too. And so I think that maybe some of those numbers end up getting skewed in that way. But I do think naturally in 2023, we'll see a lot more of those two tight end sets. But even though you see those and they are majority run sets or run distributions or whatever, you'll probably see a lot more passing out of there, especially with the pass catchers that you have. They are all uniquely different types of tight ends, but it is funny how uniquely diverse or how uniquely versatile all of them are as well. And we have to add in Lucas Kroll. Talk about another guy that could potentially take a second-year leap. If he shows that he can block those C&D gaps over on the outside, Dennis Allen said that he's going to earn a lot of opportunities. And if he does that, you already know what he can do as a pass catcher.
I mean, if you listen to this interview, it's just a smidge of what Ross Jackson gives you daily over there at Locked On Saints. So go follow Locked On Saints, sub to the pod, share it with all your friends at Ross Jackson. Nola does fantastic work with all of the Locked On pods. Follow Nola Jake as well for all your Pelicans action. If you want deep dives into the Dame Lillard situation we talked about in hour number 1. Ross, cannot thank you enough, man. You're the best. And, hey, enjoy the countdown, baby. End of the month and training camp is here.
Couldn't be happier, man. Hey, thanks so much for having me on, guys. Always a pleasure to be able to chop it up with you. Y'all take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you here soon.
Yes, sir. Ross. There he is. Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints is the pod. Again, I'm feeling good about pretty much everything except for the offensive line, which I don't love. But we'll see where.
Yeah, just the injuries, not only the ones that are they're happening currently, but also the ones that are coming.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it like that, but it's like, when's Andrew Speed going to get hurt? Like, at what point is he going to get hurt and miss 4 games in a row? Like Trevor Penning, I've had Liz Frank. It's brutal. It's tough to come back from. He's a tough guy. We all know that, but you got to be smart as well. Like, you got to make sure that you're fully healthy so you don't injure that any farther, and you can still be available down the road. And James Hurst is certainly someone that can handle those duties while you're trying to get healthy. So Trevor Penning and his health, and Cesar Ruiz has kind of been nicked up as well. And you drafted someone, from Old Dominion to potentially take his spot. So you've got a young player there, but you never know what you're going to get from a young player. And that's really the only depth pieces that you have that you feel good about right now.
When we get back, more OTB. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink are a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $25,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go? Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. A surprise #1 pick in the MLB draft. Brian Sikowski of Perfect Game thinks so, and he'll join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We're riding down the boulevard. We're riding through the dark night. We're half a tank and empty heart. Pretending we're in love, but it's never enough. Not as the sirens fill the lonely air.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. What is this article you just put in the group chat here? Jake, did you read this, or did you?
No, I
just saw the headline, or what is it?
I just saw the headline.
The 2023 SI swimsuit model Olivia Dunn launches the Livy Fund at LSU, a historic move for funding women's sports. The gymnast partnered with Bayou Traditions to create NIL endorsement deals for female student athletes. So that's cool. A way of Livy giving back to her peers. So I guess this, I'm saying, so how is this different than, I guess, okay. So it would almost be like a subsection of a collective, but their focus is going to be on creating deals specifically for female athletes.
Right. That's the way that I would read that, which is kind of cool.
It's so funny. All the people yelling are still upset or originally upset about NIL. I mean, maybe the biggest winners in all of it have been the people who have gotten the least amount. And those are these superstar female athletes, which you see just more and more finally able to, well, not only become bigger and bigger superstars than they ever were before, but also now monetize that. So shout out Livy Dunn. That's really cool, man. Very, very cool. Also, pretty
second
big.
now, by the way, sorry to cut you
Go
off. Second in estimated NIL valuation is Libby Dunn.
To who? Who's first?
I believe Bronny James.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world, actually. Pretty big
I believe
flex.
she got $500,000 from a single post recently.
What?
Yes, I
What?
believe I saw she got $500,000. Let's see.
$500,000?
Yeah.
How much money is that per? How many words were in the post? How much money is that per word? Is that like $50,000 a word?
Yeah.
What?
It's on SportsIllustrated.com. Yeah, yeah.
Is that possible?
She didn't reveal which company paid her that amount, but yeah.
What? A single how?
A single post, $500,000.
I mean, it's like just rough napkin math. It's like 10 year-long lives, just in a single Instagram post. Like I know that's how the game works, and I shouldn't be surprised. I guess I'm still surprised to see a single. I thought a single post maybe like 100K at most. 500. Shout out the GOAT.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, obviously.
You'd be surprised how many six-figure
right
posts take place if you have like over 1 million followers.
Obviously. Work out, dude.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's double what I made my rookie year in the NFL.
I mean, what the hell? That's cool, man. Also, pretty big flex being able to put SI swimsuit model in front of your name when you're like 21 years old and also a star athlete. Workout. Hell yeah. Wait. Bilbo's saying she said an interview was 6 figures. They asked if it was 500K and she said up. So we're probably even talking about a little over 500K for a single post. Hell yeah.
Hey,
dude.
yeah. Look, do you
get that freaking money?
You got
That's awesome.
You got an opportunity to do it. Go and take it. There's no question about that.
I agree. Whew, okay.
I mean, I know we talked about this. I think it was the show that we talked about it. Like LSU's brand right now, it is strong, and not just football, not just baseball, not just basketball, just the brand.
Yeah, I agree.
And the 3 letters, and those 3 letters are different because there's a lot of OSUs. Now we think of probably Ohio State, but Oklahoma State, Oregon State, like you say LSU, like everybody knows who you're talking about.
It's true.
And it is hot in the streets right now.
True on all counts. Shout out Cardi B, am I right, Mario?
Yeah, I was hoping that wouldn't come up.
More OTB, closing hour number 2 next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly.
Charles Hager, join me and Jimmy out for the next edition of Live at Lunch. We're at the original Walk-Ons, Burbank and Nicholson. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I just feel like I won't get you out of my mind. I feel love for the first time, and I know that it's true. I can tell by the look in your eyes.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, OTB. T-Bob, Jake Meyer-Taylor hanging out with you today. Having a great day. It's Thursday already, boys. The 4th of July weekend coming in clutch, pushing us here to the end of week immediately. The weekend's here. Hope you're all set to have a fantastic weekend. We got Munchies coming up at 9:15. And Big Deal or No Big Deal coming up at 9. I don't remember what we were supposed to talk about here. Let's see. Ranking the Saints player. No. We already talked Dame. Already talked Aaron Anderson.
So the other day,
I don't think we did.
I got it. The other day, I was telling y'all during the break, Brandon Walker from Barstool put out his favorite player from each SEC school, which I thought was kind of a cool exercise because, like, we all have teams that we dislike in the SEC, but it's like if you had to put pen to paper and write down a name from a school that you hate, there's still players that you respect.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was kind of a fun exercise. And so, a couple of my names, and maybe we can circle back to this later, or maybe it's not the best. Like, the best is a different conversation than your favorite. Like, my favorite Tennessee player growing up was Peerless Price.
Oh, yeah.
Loved watching Peerless. He had a sweet visor. He's a little guy out there, but he had some dog in him. And so, like, that was my Tennessee pick. I know a lot of people would probably go with a bigger name.
I'd go with T. Martin.
Okay, see, there you go. That's a great one.
Getting across the natty finish line where Peyton Manning could not.
All right,
I'm going defensive side, Eric Berry. Loved Eric Berry.
Legend of the
Eric Berry
07
was a
class.
dog.
I followed his NFL career close, too. Like, I love
I did, too, because I had to block him.
He's a beast.
Chiefs.
Another person who beat cancer's ass.
He did, absolutely. All right, so you got to go around the room.
Wait, Mar, did you have one?
My easy one is Darren McFadden. I know y'all played against him.
No, Darren McFadden. Great.
He was so fun to watch.
My
man.
Arkansas was Matt Jones. Matt Jones was so much fun to watch.
Arkansas, I would do McFadden as well, but since he was a former Cowboy, I'll go Felix Jones.
Didn't quite work out for the Cowboys.
He was still a Cowboy, Jake.
Yeah, he was. So was Darren McFadden, though.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
He was also
Jones
a Cowboy.
But they
drafted by him.
They didn't complete the. They need to
With
get
Peyton.
Peyton Hillis as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's why.
Madden cover athlete. Peyton
All right, so we're
Hillis.
going to go around the room.
I'll go
because
Matt Jones, though. Again, I'll never forget Matt Jones.
Oh, he's
Jones'
unbelievable.
bulge running the 40.
So quickly go around the room. Like Florida for me is Doring, so that one's easy. Alabama, you have to pick one Alabama player. I'll start. Mine was D'Amico Ryans. The guy was a beast. He was very respectful on the field, went about his work. One of the hardest hitting linebackers that I faced in college are pros. D'Amico Ryans, now a head coach, was a beast.
God, it's hard for me.
I know. That's why this exercise is fun.
I got an Alabama one. I'll go Glenn Coffey. Loved
good
watching
running back,
Glenn
yeah.
Coffey. Slept on. Nobody really talks about him. He was probably Saban's first big time running back at Alabama.
Retired to become a preacher.
Yep.
Dante Hightower was a monster. Unfortunately, did really good against LSU, but he was fun to watch.
I tried to cut Hightower one time, and I laid it on his thigh perfectly, and I might as well dove into a telephone pole. I mean, I just stopped and slid to the ground.
You hit a porta potty and just slid down.
Sean Alexander.
Okay.
I can't go any of these modern era folks, but Sean Alexander.
Well, D'Amico was right
he was a
before
Yeah,
they started
I
their
can't
run.
do it. I can't do
I feel like he's going to be a good head coach.
it. Hour 3 next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
He's in Houston. You know, I think that they're kind of like a Texas or a Texas A&M sort of organization that I think has a lot to overcome if he wants to be good there. Accutemp of Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com. Go to Accutemp today for all your AC, heating, and electrical needs. Like we said yesterday, Jake told you through carbon dating ice, scientists believe that July 4th was the hottest day in 125,000 years on Earth. You know where it wasn't hot? Inside my home. Because Accutemp makes sure my system's good to go, avoid any catastrophic issues down the road. AccuTempBR.com. They're the best. Go get them.
I remember when I said that.
I remember when you
I
said
said
that
it
too.
fully with my chest out. No
remember,
question
it's
about it. AccuTempBR.com is the website. You can have a chat with them right there on the site. You can also schedule your appointment. I've told you many times. I've done it during the show. They'll be there for you today. AccuTempBR.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down to
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Thursday, July 6th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 90. Coming up on OTBOT, Chef Michael Johnson joins the show for a new edition of Munchies at 9:15. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. OTBOT, live from Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge Studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome in hour number 3 OTB. The fellas hanging out with you this morning. Munchies, a lot of y'all's favorite part of the week, coming up next. 9:15 every Thursday. We check in with our guy, Chef Michael Johnson, as he answers all your culinary queries. And do not forget that we got Big Deal, No Big Deal right now. And then we'll revisit what we were just doing to end hour number 1 as we talk about our favorite players from these teams.
And you have to, from the SEC, and you got to pick one. In Texas and Oklahoma, you're not in this conversation yet, okay?
No.
You're not officially a member yet.
I'm sick of talking about Texas and Oklahoma. Even though it's been fun. It's been fun.
Every time I see you in my algorithm, you are talking A&M.
Yeah, I mean, they just
are yelling at Texas.
It's so funny. I feel like, you know the meme of the two girls fighting on the beach and the kid hitting the dab in the background? I feel like that kid. As I'm watching these two women fight for no reason whatsoever and just loving life. Now, it's made my mentions an absolute dumpster fire, but it's one that I welcome.
That's okay. I mean, that's part of the reason why you do it.
Yeah, true. Exactly.
Interactions.
Exactly. DraftKings Sportsbook app. You want to interact with DraftKings Sportsbook app for UFC 290 this weekend? Well, guess what? It's going to be a big one, boys. You got two champions entering the Octagon in Vegas with their new $3 billion cybernetic sphere dome that's going to end humanity. But only one of those champions can leave top dog. So who's going to be the featherweight title holder when it's all said and done? Will it be the current champ, Alexander Volkanovski, or the interim champ, Yair Rodriguez? You can place your bets. The DraftKings Sportsbook app is official sports betting partner of the UFC. So if you're a new customer, promo code Baton Rouge, you bet $5 on the fight, you get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Okay, love that for you. If you are already a DraftKings member, you can do the stepped-up same-fight parlays where, like we've talked about, every additional leg that you add adds percentages to your payout, 10 percentage points up to 100%. So download DraftKings Sportsbook app now, promo code Baton Rouge. Remember, betting $5 on UFC 290, get you $150 in bonus bets. And for you returning customers, get those same-fight parlays rolling. Promo code Baton Rouge. Must be 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/MMA. Terms LFC partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-426-2537. All right, let's do a little big deal or no big deal.
Big deal. Ain't no big deal.
Big deal. No big deal. Big deal.
No big deal. No big deal.
No big deal.
All right. I don't want to start mine because I think mine's going to take up time. Who put San Diego State in here? All right, go ahead, Jake.
Is San Diego State homeless? And
What
I'll explain this here. On June the 13th, I think we talked about it here. They submitted a letter to the Mountain West Conference basically saying, hey, we want out. We want out of the Mountain West because they want to go, obviously, to the Pac-12. And they had to put this notice in because when you look at when they could do it, you have to do it a year ahead of time. And so, they're trying to save basically $16 million. But the Mountain West, after whatever they did, I guess they thought maybe the Pac-12 said, yeah, we'll let you in. I don't know. Maybe they were just shooting their shot.
Yeah.
But now they don't really have anywhere to go because they're not in the Pac-12. And so they're going back to the Mountain West. And the Mountain West is like, hold up. Wait a minute. We're not just going to let you back in. You sent us this letter saying that you wanted to leave our conference and you were doing it so you could save $16 million and try to get out of it and go to another team. Well, now the conference is withholding $6.6 million of distribution from them. And they're also disallowing San Diego State officials from their league meetings.
What?
Yes.
They salty.
Yeah, they're like, you're good. You want out? All right, you are going to be out. And now San Diego State is kind of homeless, like I mentioned, because they don't really know what's going to happen here. And
they're in California.
So
it's a little
I was like, wait, what? And so the payment plan, if you wanted to leave the conference, would have been $16.5 million. But the buyout jumps to $34 million, that almost $16 million that I'm talking about here, if notice is given after July the 1st. And so they tried to give notice before the July 1st, and then they tried to ask for an extension so they wouldn't have to pay $34 million. They could just pay $16.5 million to leave the conference. And then the Mountain West is like, we're not giving you an extension. That letter was in June. So you're out of the conference. Here's what it is. And you're not getting your distribution and you're not coming in to league meetings. And so San Diego State tried to do it before the deadline, but they didn't really have a spot to land in.
Yeah, okay, I'll say this. No big deal from the perspective that I think San Diego State will land somewhere. Like they have value, right? And whatever, the Mountain West I don't really care about. Potential big deal that I want to know about, Jake, why did it not work out with the Pac-12? Is that a sign that the Pac-12 is going to die? Like what information was San Diego State privy to? Yeah. Just something, were they out of the Pac-12? Was the Pac-12 out on them?
That's what we don't know.
That's what I think is the potential big deal here, is what kind of commentary is this on the Pac-12? And I could see it going either way. It doesn't feel good for the Pac-12. It feels like acquisition may be the play, but I don't know.
And also they're dealing with their media rights deal. And so you turn in this letter June the 13th. 2 weeks later, San Diego State tries to reverse course and remain in the Mountain West Conference because the Pac-12 is, they're in a stalemate. And they've got these media rights negotiations going on right now. But then, Commissioner Navarez, the new commissioner, she came from the West Coast Conference, now in the Mountain West. She's digging in. Like, it is heels in the sand because San Diego State now owes the league nearly $17 million. And the status of San Diego State's membership is going to be talked about at a board meeting on July the 17th, which will not include San Diego State in the meeting.
You can't even defend yourself at your own trial. San Diego State leadership screwed that up.
Yep, and a really good athletic department. I mean, they've been good in football. They just made a national championship in men's basketball. They've made runs in baseball, but they screwed this one up.
Yeah,
they got above their skis.
Somebody will want them, though. Somebody will want them, right? I would think. I don't know. Big deal or no big deal? Auburn set a school record for season tickets sold, as they have sold their entire. It's like 63-something thousand. They've sold their entire allotment. Auburn officially sold out of season tickets, Jake. Big deal or no big deal?
No big deal. They're in the SEC. They should.
Yeah, that's my first thought too, honestly. How's that like news?
But they haven't. It's a school record.
That's
they
more
haven't
the
been
news.
selling out. No, it's good news for them, and like their fans are obviously excited. But
Does
like,
LSU sell out of season tickets every year? Are we for sure about that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I guess I don't think it's a big deal
because
because it's like you got to have on-field success. Like you can have the fan excitement, but if it doesn't move into anything, like what's the point?
it's a big deal to me because it's a sign of the belief that Hugh Freeze is creating. A belief that Brian Harsin never even sniffed. Brian Harsin never even had a modicum of the buy-in that Hugh Freeze is going to be good at Auburn. I don't know about year one, but they are going to be good, I believe, under Hugh Freeze. And this just reminds me that Auburn's a bit like the Taliban, or any sort of, the Viet Cong or throughout history, any sort of like natives where when you invade their land, you may win the battles in the short term, right? But they're just impossible to root out. Right, they go and they recede into the plains, and they're high, and they just have this belief. They always believe that they're going to be there eventually. Like they will outlast you. You cannot kill Auburn somehow. You cannot kill Auburn. They should have nothing to be excited about right now, and yet they just sold a school record of season tickets. It's kind of impressive outside looking in.
When you look, I don't know. When you look at some other schools like Tennessee has sold well over 75,000. Season tickets.
Well, they have more to sell. Like Auburn sold their entire allotment. I don't care about number. I want to know, like, are you selling 100% of your season tickets?
They sold, and this was done in April. They sold 96% in April.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tennessee. Well, look, it would make sense that Tennessee should. They're on the come up. Like people are excited for the first time in a decade and a half. I wonder if LSU does anymore. I mean, we're spoiled now. You see the attendance at these games.
Yeah, I think the football part of it, I think Freeze is a big upgrade to Harsin immediately. But, like, college football, the sport, is very different from the last time he was coaching in the SEC.
I wouldn't say an upgrade. I would say he's a better fit for the job. Like, Brian Harsin can coach football.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that when he was hired, we're like, man, it has to be a fit. And some people, like, just kind of shoot that to the side, and that's a real thing. And then they force him to hire coaches. It was a mess. But Hugh Freeze, knowing the league, to your point, Mario, is going to help him out immediately.
Yep, hopefully. We'll see if he can survive. Like,
hopefully. I hope he doesn't do well.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
hopefully for Auburn fans. But just the politics, the new world of college football, NIL, transfer portal, very different from when he was at Ole Miss having success.
Yeah. And the thing is, talking about these head coaches is a bit like talking about NFL players. Like, of course you're a good football coach to get one of these jobs. You have to be. But relative to how you perform at this job, like Brian Harsin was an abject disaster at Auburn. And yes, Hugh Freeze is just a perfect fit for Auburn. Culturally, personality-wise, just everything. So they believe over there. Maybe it's just the belief born of a lifetime of fighting against long odds, being little brother, having to deal with Alabama in your state, like whatever. It's hardened the Auburn fan base into something unkillable. I'm impressed. No big deal for this year, but I'm impressed.
I'm trying to look at a number, and chat, correct me if you see another number, but it says LSU offers 45,000 season tickets.
Seems very low for 100,000.
But maybe it just means that, I don't know. It says, 45,000 football season tickets require a contribution to LSU's tradition fund for the right to purchase those tickets. So maybe there's a separate amount of
tiered
tickets.
System. Yeah, I don't know. No, tiered system wouldn't make sense. So, all right, y'all got any big deals, no big deals?
Real quick, it looks like the NBA is doing a in-season tournament in Las Vegas, and the stats, every single team in the league is going to play in this. It's going to start with group stage, single elimination, and all the stats count towards the regular season except for the championship game. And I say this is no big deal. I think this is really dumb. I'm still going to watch it. Y'all know I love the Pelicans. I love NBA, but this is just really pointless. The players are going to be incentivized too. Like, if you win this tournament, you get more money. And I feel like they're just trying to, lay the table for Vegas to eventually get an NBA team. So I think this is pointless. I think this is dumb. NBA in-season tournament, no big deal.
I mean, I don't think any groundwork needs to be laid to have an NBA team in Vegas. So, that's already done.
Yeah.
I think this is just Adam Silver's been very clear about trying to drive regular season excitement, and they're just taking a page out of EPL's book to have a little outside of your norm cup to lift, essentially. On the surface, I don't think it sounds terribly interesting to me, but I think it's no big deal. But I'll let it, There's a part of me that could maybe get into this. Like, what if the Pelicans go on a little run and all of a sudden they're in the mid-season finals? You're telling me you're not going to be like hyped up to watch that game?
No, it's not the real finals. No, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be like, oh, we finally won a championship in something. No, this is dumb. It's pointless.
Okay.
All right, I got one.
Yeah, what you got?
Swamp is getting a makeover.
Yep.
Florida will have a
Big one.
significant overhaul that's expected to cost at least $400 million. And according to Scott Strickland, he said it's not a Band-Aid project. It will be a multi-generational solution. So big deal that Ben Hill Griffith is getting an upgrade.
No big deal. It's long overdue. All the Florida upgrades are. It's not like they're passing anybody up. They're just catching up. So no big deal.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like, is it that bad? Like, y'all have been, everything that I've read says that, like, they have the worst facilities in the conference.
Well, they didn't even have a football ops until, like, last year or something.
The baseball stadium finally got built. I mean, they were just way, way behind, which was impressive that they were as successful as they were. It kind of shows you that you don't have to have those things to be successful. I love the Swamp. I mean, it is a venue that I loved playing in because you knew it was going to be loud. You knew they were going to hate you. And the way that it's built, it goes straight up. T-Bob's talked about that many times, but it needed. I mean, the press box, awful. I mean, on a humid day, you're in the press box. I mean, everything's rusty around you because of the humidity, and you just got drips of water from the humidity, falling on your laptop and everything. I mean, it needed some help. It needed some TLC. Great venue as far as the fans showing up and it being loud and all of that. But, yeah, it needed not just a Band-Aid. It needed a full transformation.
All right, I want to do a no big deal on Threads, but I want to get to Chef Johnson. So let's go to Munchies. I'll revisit that a bit later. More OTB coming up next.
OTB, OT.
225-206-1517, 225-206-1517. That is the number of Thomas Email's cell phone number. You call that number, he will answer, and y'all can start to talk, say hello, be polite. That's what humans do. And then be like, so, what's the deal, dude? I need some help with my insurance. And it could be anything. Like, think about your home insurance. Probably rolled in your mortgage. You probably don't even know exactly what you're paying for. Auto insurance, business, anything. Anything. Riverlands gets it. And they're from Louisiana, so they understand this market better than anyone. So you call Thomas, him and his daughter Megan. They'll do the shopping. They put savings in front of your face. You reap the benefits. Riverlands Insurance.
225-206-1517 is that number again. And also remember, that's anywhere in the state of Louisiana. Don't allow the 225 area code to fool you. We're talking to anyone that's listening to us in the state. They can help you. They can help you today. In fact, they can help you right now. Again, 225-206-1517.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving.
So join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. State of the program. We'll do LSU football, LSU basketball, LSU baseball, Saints. Tune in Thursday, 1 to 3, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Oh, well, my girl's in the next room. Sometimes I wish she was you. I guess we never really moved on. It's really good to hear your voice saying my name. Coming from the lips of an angel, hearing those words, it makes me weak. Liz, I never want to say goodbye, but girl, you make it hard to be faithful with the lips of an angel.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Chef Johnson makes it a bit hard to be faithful. My wife. He wanted to come cook for me. I'd let him in a second. And everybody knows, what's the old saying? The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Well, Chef said my heart since day one. Chef Michael Johnson, Executive Chef at LSU Athletic. Chef, what's going on, man? How are we doing today?
I'm well, guys. How are y'all?
Doing well. Doing well. How was your July 4th, dude? What did you get into? I know generally on holidays you don't do the cooking, correct?
No, I didn't miss. I went to St. Louis this year. A buddy of mine has a boat on the Mississippi River, and we took a riverboat ride up the Mississippi River. And it's weird because down here the river's dirty and mucky and flows pretty fast, and up there, like, we took and anchored out on a sand shallow that was only 8 feet deep, and you can wade in the river up there, and it's like good fishing and stuff. And the river looks more like a lake than it does a river. Like it sits not still, but it's really calm. It's a much different experience. But we had fried fish and mac and cheese.
Hell yeah! We caught a bunch of catfish up at Toledo Bend. Had ourselves a big fish fry as well.
Who cleaned them up? You?
No, my guy T, Captain Rob from Living the Dream. But we became such good friends on the boat that he came over to show me the way and give me some good fry tips. So I'll be getting after it this weekend. I got a lot of catfish left to fry.
There you go.
And a lot of tamales to deliver.
Yeah, I know. I keep forgetting the Zwally tamales at home. I'm sorry, y'all. Chef, next time you go to Toledo Bend, if you want the most legitimate tamale, you got to go to Bub T's.
I've heard. I think your mom told me about that when you guys came into the nutrition center that day. Yeah, or maybe your grandma. But they told me that best tamales on earth. Yep.
Yeah. We're talking.
Yeah, they are. They're fantastic.
We're talking. Think about this. In a town with a population of Sabine, Zwally, like Manny, whatever you want to say, they make 250 dozen tamales a day.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. And Bub T is apparently, like, it's a multi-generational tamale family.
Oh,
so
wow.
they've been at it for a long time. Also, Chef, I did want to give a shout out to the bin.
Absolutely, thank you.
We were going to go on there for July. That closed on Tuesday, so we couldn't go. But my grandma the day previous had brought over some gumbo and greens to go, and that was absolutely delicious. A really, really tasty gumbo. Very reminiscent of, not very New Orleans-y, definitely not tomato-based. Very reminiscent of like a good like down south Cajun gumbo.
Yeah. But as I understand it, your grandma comes in quite a bit there. She must like it. So that's good news.
Doing great work, man. All right. Hashtag munchies. Okay, everybody, please stop commenting about my mom. Okay, she's a very sweet woman.
I had like 7 comments that I've been holding back here.
And yes, I get it. Chef is very attractive as well, and he has those blue eyes, and he can cook and everything. Okay, but
someone was asking, is Teresa saying yes, chef?
Yeah, no, chef, do not. Chef,
oh no,
you're not allowed to get with my mom. Okay, I'm just laying out the groundwork very clearly here. I think lines of communication need to be clearly drawn in the sand. I'm sure you can appreciate this being the leader of a kitchen. You're not allowed. Okay,
I'm a kept man right now, so that's fine.
There you go. See, I thought so. I didn't want to say that because I don't want to put, but I thought so. Okay, there we go. I'm safe for now. Hashtag munchies. Would you put carrots on a taco?
But pickled carrots, not just carrots. Like you got to pickle them to give them some. I think like good street tacos, you can definitely have and spice too. Not like kimchi necessarily, but something along those lines, like spice, hot and pickled. Yeah.
I love this question. Hashtag munchies. What was the first dish you mastered?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know. I think grilling steaks was really, it was the first thing that I remember really taking an interest into how the heat transferred from the metal to the meat, and even like elevating, like if you walk into a restaurant, there's different types of broilers, but like they can be angled up, and some of them have like logs on them, and there's so many different types. Watching how things interact with heat and the chemical reaction that happens during that process. I remember that happening while I was grilling steaks, and it was definitely one of the things that I remember paying attention to the most coming up. And then I worked at a couple of steakhouses and worked on different types of broilers, and so and I'm a beef guy too. As much as I like the fish, I'm a beef guy all day long. So,
Chef, what would your perfect salad have it? If you're creating a salad from scratch and you could include whatever you wanted, how would you go about it?
Well, I like seasonal vegetables, and salads are great in the summertime. I like lots of different greens, right? Like different colored greens, not just spinach or iceberg or whatever. I like fruit in the summertime. I like fresh vegetables and fruits when they're available, but I also like cheese, man. There's going to be some goat cheese on there somewhere in it. I don't care what kind of salad it is. I'll put goat cheese on it.
What was the peppery herb that you put in that delicious salad you made us with the steelhead trout? Or maybe it was in the mix. It was God, I can't remember.
Yeah,
that
well, there
pepper
was a couple
flavor. Yes.
Gosh, it's nasturtium or something of that. I always mispronounce it, but it's nasturtium or something along those lines. But I always mispronounce it, but it does have some nice peppery. And then sorrel, I like sorrel in a little bit because it has a little lemony flavor to it. My grandmother used to pick dandelions and make dandelion jelly, and then would sweat the grains, and I kind of have an emotional affinity to dandelion greens in a salad. They're bitter as heck, but they're good.
You say dandelion jelly? Because somebody asked a question about what jelly you use on a PB&J. What's dandelion jelly?
Dandelion jelly. It's preserved, like you steep the liquid with the dandelion flowers, and you make your jelly from that. Yeah, my grandma used to make it. She would send us out in the yard, and we would pick dandelions, yellow dandelions, and bring them back to her, and she would make dandelion jelly.
Damn. I never knew that thing. What is your preferred jelly when it comes to making a PB&J?
I used to have this Mayhaw jelly that was made with Mayhaw and habaneros, and I just, if I'm going to be bougie and I'm going to tell you what I really like, that's why, I could be great and easy all day long, but I like a Mayhaw pepper jelly, fantastic. I'll put it on PB&J. I'll put it in a sauce. put it on cheese and crackers. It's just a really versatile jelly.
There's a 1,000 different ones to kind of choose from there. I feel like the other ones, like if you go like apple jelly or something, like I feel like that's I don't know how that's made.
Is Mayhaw 318 thing? Because I always associate that with my great grandma up there in Manhattan.
Yeah, it definitely has a specific area. Like as you go west, you're getting more into the Mayhaws. You can,
Okay.
Like,
I thought he was going to go pork
Mayhaw.
belly. Pork belly jelly.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Pork belly. You can pick up Mayhaw jelly like at Billy's on the way up to Toledo Bend.
Yeah, I got some good.
I need to
Boudin
try
from
some
Billy's
of that
last
because
week.
I feel like the last couple of jellies I've tried, like it's like there's no way this is natural whatsoever.
Oh, you never had any of that fresh Mayhaw?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, damn, dude. Okay, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Put that thing on
Yeah,
a
that's a
biscuit.
treat.
Oof.
Yeah.
Hashtag Munchies. Lance wants to know, what's a quick and easy guacamole recipe?
Honestly, it is quick and easy. You get you some nice fresh house avocados, press them, little lemon juice so that they don't brown. I like, if you don't have time to cut up the tomatoes, you can just put salsa in it, right? Like a chunky like salsa crudité if you don't feel like doing too much work in it. Some people put mayonnaise in their guacamole, and I'm 1,000% against it. I like chopped jalapenos, and they can be pickled, but I prefer fresh. Some people put mayonnaise in their guacamole, and it's awful. I don't know.
Mayonnaise, some weird people out there.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
you lost your turn. Like that is a skip. Chef, was it you that was telling us about mayonnaise and a grilled cheese a couple of weeks ago?
So I have had mayonnaise on a grilled cheese before. It's not. I think somebody had asked about it. We had talked about it a little bit, but yeah, we used to use mayonnaise on a crab sandwich at Stadium in Seattle, and did it on sourdough. So you mayonnaise, slather the heck out of it, and it's been like the oil from the mayonnaise browns the toast, and then like the egg from it kind of firms it up a little bit. It's an interesting thing, yeah.
No, I actually tried it. That's why I was saying I thought it was you that was talking about it.
Now, you tried it on the outside or the inside? Like, you used it on the outside?
I went butter on the outside,
wow.
mayonnaise on the inside, cheese in the middle, and I did it. And my boys and wife, they loved it.
That's the fattest thing I've ever heard of you doing.
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't eat it.
I was gonna say that was a cheat day, huh?
No, he said he didn't.
I didn't eat it.
What
I
a
was making it
coward.
for the family.
Get his ass out in the kitchen. Throw him in the lake.
Popular dad day, though.
Hashtag Munchies. Brian Law says, T-Bob, please repeat the tamale name. It was Bub Tees up at Toledo Bend. And what's interesting is those tamales, Native American based, whereas like Texas and everything are Mexican based tamales. I don't know exactly what the taste difference would be, but I find that to be interesting. Hashtag Munchies. Is Hog's Head cheese actually cheese?
Oh, no. I mean, it's nothing to do with cheese at all.
No.
I mean, my grandma used to make hog head cheese, and it was some of the best on earth. You can get some really good stuff around here, but they call it cheese, I think, because you get it in a loaf and you slice it like so, and it was always prepared in like bread pans, and it came out in a square shape, and so I think it was just referred to as cheese because of that. But I mean, most people don't really want to know what goes into hog head cheese. But that's the beauty behind the mystery, right? Like, it's fantastic, especially when you get some good spice and garlic in it.
Ooh,
and
yes.
Oh man, I love hog head cheese.
Me too.
You know what else? I'll take hog head cheese and take some red beans or black beans, or if I'm cooking beans, I'll throw some hog head cheese into those beans because it's got spice and pork and garlic and stuff in it. Ooh. And if you're looking for a quick solution instead of trying to cook, like if you're in a pinch, you need to spice your beans and make them taste good, and like you don't have time to soak them overnight. You using canned beans and throwing some hog head cheese in there will pull that dish together in a hurry.
Ooh.
You got T-Bob hot and bothered. Chef, what is your favorite food to fry in a fryer?
Oh man, gosh, I mean, it's fishing season, so I think it's like whatever's in front of me, it's fresh.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I just go to fish. Maybe fresh shrimp. But
okay.
I love speckled trout. I love fried speckled trout, and then I like fried sac-a-lait. There's
I know,
very
dude.
few things
we
on
didn't
earth.
get any sac-a-lait last weekend, Chef. That's the only bummer.
I
And then I get a text the next day, and they're like, "Oh, we caught 75 in an hour." I'm like, "Of course."
Oh my God!
Of course.
Yeah, this time of year, man, that's tough to do. It's hot as hell outside.
I know.
I was about to say, like, how did they get that done?
I don't know.
They probably call it crappy though there.
So that is that is the other thing that I feel like such a city boy. And
Or
I'm
white
so
perch in
confused
North
on.
Louisiana,
white
actually.
perch, sockeye,
Yeah.
crappie. It's like, wait, these are all the same things? My entire life I've been thinking these were all different. But yeah, we did fry up one of them, and it was delicious.
Yeah, they do eat well, man.
Yeah, milkfish. Chef, you're the best. Chef Michael Johnson, the legend. I'll be hitting you up for tips. You as well, Jake. All my friends are getting one. I think I'm getting sucked up in the zeitgeist. I'm about to get me one of them flat top cast iron grills.
Oh, yeah.
For outside. Yeah, I'm hyped. So
You need to breakfast on that. Hard to beat.
Yeah, you can cook anything on one of those, man.
Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm finally going to relive my Waffle House Texas bacon cheesesteak at home dreams.
There
Turns
you
out I
go.
don't have to build an entire replica kitchen. All I need is that. Chef, you're the best. Chef Michael Johnson joins us every
Take
single
care, guys.
Thursday for Munchies. You have a great day, man. The legend.
We need to figure out like the map of
I'll get cheese and the beans.
crappie, sakala, white perch.
Like who calls it what where?
Yeah.
Well, definitely sockeye down in Cajun country, right? And then crappie and white perch up in the 318. And
We used to mess around and call it crappie.
Crappie.
Because we were young and immature. Yeah, white perch probably the name that's.
And then what,
used the
brim or
most
like a
in
little
North Louisiana.
sunfish?
Yeah.
Like little tiny boys?
Yep.
Which apparently are good eating as well.
I don't know that I ever have.
I think that's what somebody told me
Honestly.
this weekend, bro.
Really?
I know. Maybe I'm making stuff up. I got very confused. A lot of fishing, a lot of drinking cruise. On the I took down about an entire case out there in the 100-degree heat. We rode. How about this? We rode for an hour to get to the spot.
Did you?
Yeah, that's how big.
I didn't know you
Toledo
could.
is.
Yeah, I
Bro,
mean, I'm
Toledo
trying to
is
think like
giant.
it is big, but
Giant. I also got a lot of cool facts from my guy Captain T. So like apparently, Toledo Bend's man-made, flooded, right? They dam it up, hydroelectric power, flood the Sabine River, make a lake, blah blah blah. Well, the reason why there's so many trees and everything left in it, they flooded in like 66. They didn't think it was going to fill up to like 69, and so the plan was over the next couple of years to clear it all out and everything. And there's just a massive rain came in 67 and flooded early. And so they just had like an entire forest. There's still apparently like old like tractors and all kinds of equipment just buried under the water there.
oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. It's hard to go tubing or skiing in those waters because you'll hit a stump.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
You have to
very
know the
easily.
areas. You got to follow the buoys if you don't know the water that you're going over. 100%. All right. When we get back, more OTB.
OTB, OT.
All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Love me some All-Star Toyota. Love the Sienna. Really enjoyed the Camry. Would never expect it. I'm a big guy. I didn't think sedans were for me. And I'm excited to see where I end up going next. My lease almost. I know I keep telling her that, but it is true. The point is, though, if you and your family need answers, maybe your family's growing, maybe it's changing, maybe it's not, whatever the case may be, the best deals, the best selection, the best people, the best service department, the best rentals department if you're going on vacation. It's all there for you right here in Baton Rouge off of Airline Highway, All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com.
Go to the website that T-Bob just gave you, and remember, you can customize your vehicle there. Now, you can do it online, and you can lay out everything that you want, or you can just go into the dealership if you'd rather do it that way. However you want to do it, they can get it done over at All-Star, create whatever look that you want to create, like T-Bob did with the Murdered Out Mini All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Turn my music high, 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 yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets where the hood can swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. And cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. With personalities clashing, chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like it's war.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. A surprise #1 pick in the MLB draft? Brian Sikowski of Perfect Game thinks so, and he'll join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hudco Roofing brings you live coverage of the 2023 SEC Football Media Days. Join us Monday, July 17th through Thursday, July 20th, as we take you inside college football's premier conference. It's the 2023 SEC Football Media Days, heard exclusively on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and brought to you by Hudco Roofing.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Welcome back, OTB. A couple things to get to here. I guess I already talked about Undertaker Mankind. You should all go watch them rewatching that legendary match. It's one of the coolest videos I've ever seen. I also learned some. Well, okay, real quick about this. 2 things. First off, this is going to be a big deal, no big deal, boys. But the move to Threads. What's going on? Everybody's going to Threads. It's some Twitter substitute.
Yeah, because
do we need to move to Threads?
Are they? Everybody? Really?
Yeah.
So
I haven't been keeping up with it, I guess.
No, so I feel what Mario's getting at here, though, because we've seen this before. Mastodon, Rumble, like whatever. The key difference here is you are already in that ecosystem. If you have an Instagram, if you have a Facebook, you are already in the Meta ecosystem, meaning the ease of signing up is something that attracts a lot of people. And then I've heard it's just like old school Twitter, which is actually genius. Why try to be different than Twitter? Just go back to being what Twitter was originally. I don't have the mental capacity. So like your Instagram follower count, does that just carry over?
You can. Same? You can just hit follow the same people you do on Instagram.
What about people that follow you? That's what I'm asking.
So, I mean, they have the same option. Like when they sign up for, do you want to follow the same people you do? They hit it.
That's.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it till a couple days ago. But this
I didn't know about it till last night.
Right after Jake mentioned it, I'm scrolling through like my Instagram like stories of people, and like 3 people are like, follow me on Threads. Follow me on Threads.
That's what everybody's saying. I'm gonna hold off for now. It's weird though. I'm like with our jobs. Do we have to be on there? Like, am I being
that was my question to
irresponsible?
Myself. That was my question to
know.
myself. Yeah. And because I'm not.
Was that on air? Okay.
Oh, it felt like it was. Because I'm not doing TikTok. Like, I'll never do TikTok. I know a lot of people do. Nothing
We
against
missed the
it.
boat on TikTok. That's
It's
the
just-
fear, is missing the boat
I'm not
on
doing
the next
that.
big
That's
thing.
a lot of work. This is easy. This is very easy. Like I said, old school Twitter. Just, hey, here's a couple thoughts. Send.
I don't follow any thoughts.
I bet you do.
I follow a couple thoughts. That's fair. Not really on Instagram. But there's a few buried among my 4,000 or 5,000 follows on Twitter for sure.
How many?
I'm not a big follower ratio guy.
I'm not either, but that's just a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, but it's created just a massively interesting mix of content that gets served my way.
I mean, I'm at like 900. I'm like, I follow too many people.
What? Look at you. Trying to flex on everybody. Keep it under 1,000. I'm a man of the people. I'm not here following anybody. If you have a single funny tweet, I'll follow you.
I never said I was trying to keep it under 1,000.
Look, I mean, I'm saying that.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I'm calling you an elitist.
Yeah.
You know, you go live in San Diego for a little bit.
I don't
Next
judge-
thing you know, you're worried about followers.
I don't judge people how many people they follow unless they have like, they follow like 25,000 people. And they're like,
Yeah,
I
unless
got a
it's
lot
like
of followers.
1-to-1.
It's like,
That's true. I kind of judge this.
I don't know about that.
About
that.
Damn it.
Who in this room do you think follows the most people?
I loved Twitter though, dude, for so long. I feel like I should go down with the ship like the captain in the Titanic.
My ratio is pretty close to being positive. I only follow like 100 more people than what follows me, which is good for me.
many people do you follow?
I follow 4,000.
I follow like 1,500. I think I have like 1,400 followers.
Okay.
How many do you follow there, Tate?
I don't have Twitter.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
I'm at 901
What, you just have
actually.
Facebook? You
I
just
lied
have
to you.
Meta?
Facebook, Insta, TikTok.
Oh,
I'm at 901. Sorry, I lied to you.
trying to keep it under 9.
Somebody-
Two people got to get the X.
Somebody, let's see.
Go down the list. Axe them live on air.
T-Bob A-Bear. I would never do it to you. I actually even followed T-Bot A-Bear.
I like
He's
T-Bot.
funny. He's
I like
funny.
T-Bot.
Well, apparently, like, he had a tweet that I had a very similar tweet. I'm like, oh, my bad, dude. I don't follow you. Like, I wouldn't, so I had to hit follow. And then I was like, he's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, he tweeted yesterday that his consciousness is tied to Twitter. So if Twitter dies, T-Bot dies. Made me sad. Made me very sad. I don't know. I guess I'm too old. I'm just too old for another damn social media site.
But why?
Freaking Mark
Like,
Zuckerberg's gonna suck me in again.
T-Bob, you have
Mark Zuckerberg.
You have 58.6 thousand followers, and you follow 4,015. That's a pretty good ratio there, Bo.
Yeah. Damn it. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like, you know what I hate about social media in this job is that you always feel the weight of like you're not doing enough, right? I should be doing more of it. Should be doing more of this. Should be doing more of that. And now I got threads coming in here. And if this does, which again, we've seen multiple challenges before that have fizzled out completely, but if this does eventually kill Twitter, Elon Musk, I'm not even offering an opinion on it. I don't care. Like, right? Like, I like some of what Musk does and I like other stuff, but like Elon Musk, you have royally effed this up. I mean,
Yes.
you like if you get replaced by Zuckerberg and Threads, you bought something that nobody else valued at $40 billion, whatever, and then ran it into the ground within a matter of like a year and a half.
Did you mention Zuckerberg's tweet from yesterday? He tweeted for the first time in 10 years, and the tweet was a meme of the two Spider-Mans pointing at each other. So take that for what it's worth. But I think we're a long way away from that, man.
Are Zuckerberg and Musk going to fight?
They're supposed to.
I hope so.
Hell yeah.
I really do. I would actually watch that.
Are you alive?
Well, I mean,
who wouldn't watch Zuckerberg and Elon
watch
Musk
all the
fight?
Logan Paul versus somebody's grandpa crap.
Yeah,
like, I
but
don't
this
watch
is like
any of
Edison
that.
versus Tesla.
Yeah, I would love this.
It's like, I mean, come on, let's go. It'd be badass. Be into it for sure. And they look goofy as hell doing it.
Grant Williams got $53 million.
Yep, 4-year, 53 mil.
It's a good trade for Dallas, man. They need defense.
G-dubs.
Just don't talk smack to Jimmy Butler again.
What'd they give up?
Reggie Bullock. That was
former
like
Nick.
that was like the main piece, one of their good shooters. But
Yeah, really good shooter.
Yeah, I think that's a good trade though. They need defense more than offense.
More RTB coming up next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
CentralPlumbing.org, 9258552, CentralPlumbing.org. For 50 years, they've been solving all of your plumbing problems. The Payne family, been getting it done. Ironic, because it's a painless process. When you deal with Central Plumbing, they got flat rate pricing. Everybody's licensed, bond, insured. Got excellent warranty once the work is done. What does that translate to? You having peace of mind every single step along the way. It's not just repairs, remodels, tankless water heaters, everything. It's your one-stop plumbing shop, centralplumbing.org.
Yeah, you go to the website T-Bob just gave you. You'll see exactly what he's talking about when it comes to the remodel game. That's at your home or your business if you're a business owner. It doesn't matter if you have like a downtown building and you have the entire floor and you've got multiple restrooms in there. They can come in and they can knock that out because no job is going to be too big for them and no job is going to be too small for them. So if it's just at your home and you want to redo your main bathroom, they can certainly handle that as well. 225-925-8552.
T. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I drove myself to the ER, had heart surgery, and drove myself home 24 hours later, feeling fine. Starting running again after the procedure, I'm getting excited thinking about it. I had no pain, nothing. I felt great. And right then and there, I was like, oh my God, I'm back. I'm back. It's just amazing.
Ochsner Health. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-26.
Charles Hanniger joined me and Jimmy out for the next edition of Live at Lunch. We're at the original Walk-Ons, Burbank and Nicholson. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Patient Plus Urgent Care, PatientPlusUC.com, where you will see the difference, okay? You need to get in, get better, life's unexpected moments. You got a big vacation, you got the sniffles, you need a shot. Well, I don't know what you need, but they know what you need. Because they get the best they're doctors. No medical advice will ever be given on OTB. Save, it's not medical advice, it's life advice. Save to say that walk-ins are always welcome, and you should go to Patient Plus Urgent Care, and there's locations littered throughout the city. And when you go in, you're going to see the difference. You're going to be blown away. And never forget, if you're a business owner listening to this, trust me, there is nowhere better for your one-stop shop when it comes to all of your occupational medicine needs. Patient Plus Urgent Care, PatientPlusUC.com. We love having Patient Plus part of the team. Ask the Bench, brought about Cold Curse Light, Busy Arts, Ultra Blooming Light Sky Citrus. Ask the Bench, what's something you always tease your wife about?
Mine's geography, probably.
She sleeps with her mouth wide open. Just like, just like a barbarian. I just want to throw gummy bears in there.
Gummy bears?
Yeah, that's what I call them. Ask the Bench. We're officially in the doldrums. Is Taylor going to put on his lab coat and do these scientific tier lists or not? Yes. Tier list tomorrow.
Commit to it.
Commit to it. We are committed to it.
Yeah.
We're doing Arnold movies or HBO show tier list tomorrow?
I think HBO shows.
Okay, HBO shows. Here we
go.
But,
I mean, obviously this is up for a vote. It's us four. So what do we think?
I'll vote HBO shows.
I'm cool with HBO shows.
All right. I feel like we've all seen enough. Taylor, are you finished?
Oh, yeah. I've been done for like
we'll talk about
two and a half weeks.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've been some places. I haven't been here.
Ask the Bench. Jonathan made it safely, but he's a bit grumpy today. Can you tell him to cheer up? He'll listen to you guys. Okay, Ben, we can't keep doing it. But Jonathan, come on, man. You got this, dude. You got this. It's okay. You're going to have a great time, okay? Grab a coffee, put a smile on, fix your face. Turn that frown upside down. We'll see you tomorrow.
OTB, OT.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's